on Sports Channel.
We're just about set to go for this second meeting between the Devils and the Whalers. Sean Burke is back at his old stomping grounds as we look at the Bob Stewart starting goaltenders. And has he ever been playing well? A 1.82 goals against average in his last 7 games on the season. Sean is 4-3-2, a 2.27 average in 9 appearances. And he is opposed by Chris Terreri, the Providence College product. Comes in at 2.70 with the goals against, 10-6-1 in 21 games. And the officials tonight, Mick Magoo is the referee, Pat DiPuzzo and Brian Murphy are the linesmen as the Whalers open up with Jim Storm and Pat Verbeek, another ex-Devil, flanking Andrew Castles in front of James Patrick and Brian Marchment as Patrick is back in action, and right from the opening faceoff, down goes Mick Magoo. Can Danik go back for the puck? Bill Guerin, Wilbraham Mass, makes the pass to Jim Dowd. He'll put it in the corner in the Whalers zone. Guerin trying to get to it. Valeri Zelepukin couldn't pick it up. Brian Marchment does. Mark Gregg suiting up in this game for the Whalers. Has the puck. He replaces Brian Propp up front in the Whaler lineup. Patrick is in for Brad McCrimmon as the puck is deflected by Marchment out of play.
Now, Coach Pierre McGuire's at it again. As soon as they dropped the puck, he made a quick change. He took the Castles line off and got the line of Chibarev, Gregg, and Sandlak up there. And, you know, you don't see that much anymore, but McGuire, as soon as he's taken over, as soon as he took over the coaching reins here, he's sticking to it, and he's a stubborn guy, and he didn't like the opening matchup. So he's going to put the Castles line back on, and let's see how Coach Jacques Lemaire and his Devils react to that.
Here flanked by Kevin McCarthy and Steve Weeks on the bench. Paul Gillis works up in the press box area. Castles out against Bobby Carpenter in this draw. The Devils control. Scott Niedermeyer, fine young defenseman, checked by Storm. His pass picked off by Castles. He starts it in with Verbeek. Verbeek had it poked away at the defense by Yaroslav Modry, a young Czech defenseman. They've got rookie Jason Smith in the lineup as well. So Jacques Lemaire working in some young talent on this defense. I'm sure Larry Robinson's having a lot of fun working with them. Here's Zarley Zanowski centering. It's lifted on goal by Storm and covered by Terreri. And we get some pushing and shoving. First of all, involving Modry and Castles, and then Chorsky and Verbeek on the scene.
This is a good try for the Whalers. Terreri had to be pretty strong at that short side, as Storm did redirect the puck to the short side. And boy, has Jim Storm come along since day one. He's got better in every shift.
Obviously, GM Paul Holmgren and the coaching staff had a lot of confidence in him coming from the Olympic team to make the move, send Patrick Poulin to Chicago in that 3-way deal in early November, and open up an opportunity for Storm as we look at Jacques Lemaire and Larry Robinson on the double bench.
Devils are 4th overall, 2nd in their division. Obviously, this coaching staff has done a terrific job.
Mike Peluso works the puck to center. It's played into the Devil bench by Chris Pronger. We're seeing a lot of good young defensive talent in this game, with, of course, the way Pronger has come along and the expectations for his career as a Hartford Whaler, and Niedermeyer and Smith on the Devil side in particular.
Rick, and you know what's played well for the Whalers of late, but the last, I don't know how, 10 games to a dozen games, he's really come forward, was Adam Burt. I know he's been around for long. You think of him as an old, wily pro, but he's a youngster himself. And you know, with this defense core the way it is now, with so much depth, and sometimes a young player doesn't have to do as much as he might have wanted to do before. That's what I feel about Adam Burt. He's really turning into a solid dude.
Whalers resting, as we mentioned, Propp and McCrimmon. Bob McGill also sitting this game out, as well as the injured players. Goaltenders Jeff Reese, Mario Goslant, and centerman Darren Turcotte on the sidelines. Reese says he could be ready for action, perhaps sometime next week, coming off that hip injury. Here's Pat Verbeek starting it in for the Whalers. The pass to Castles, looking for Storm, broken up at the defense, and the puck is cleared out by McLean. It's off the stick of Chorsky. Burke around that rolling puck for Pronger. Pass is tipped by Chorsky. Chopped by Castles, not out though. Carpenter feeds it to the corner. Chorsky gets to it. He's trailed in there by Alexander Godinyak. And the Whalers take over. We've played 2 minutes, no score here at the Meadowlands. Storm Fires in front for Verbeek, and Scott Stevens got his stick on that. And Danico paired with Stevens on the Neville defense. Claude Lemieux works with Carpenter and Chorsky at the moment as the puck is backhanded in by Storm. Whalers change up. Michael Nylander out between Robert Cron and Jeff Sanderson. Marchment and Patrick reunited defensively for the Whalers as Marchment backhands it in. And the captain of the Devils, 12-year man Scott Stevens, looks up ice. Pass off the glass. Patrick's just going to drive it right back in there, and Danico has to chase once again. Here's the pass to David Emma, product of BC and out of Cranston, Rhode Island. Marchment reaches for the puck. He'll head for the corner with Richer. Emma puts it in behind the net. McLean tied up well by Patrick, and Cron with speed starts it out. 4 Devils back defensively.
Very important element to tonight's game is the speed of the Hartford Whalers. They have to utilize it. The Devils are not a fast team.
Here's Emma on the move with Richer. Richer trying to get it in front. McLean had it tapped away by Sanderson. Richer drops it once again for McLean. The centering pass is deflected by Marchment. Emma's pass comes up the boards, and Cron got there ahead of his fellow countryman Baudry, and he backhanded it down the ice, allowing a Whaler change. Mark Gregg tries to slow up Scott Niedermeyer. Gregg throws the puck off the skate of Zarley Zanapski. He's double teamed, gets some help from Gregg. Adam Burt going to reach for that puck. Igor Chibarev has it. He's got room to roam. Attacks that line, but he's slowed up by big Mike Peluso. Baudry's pass tipped by Jim Sandlak. Gregg finds the handle. He'll roll it in deep in the Devil zone. Niedermeyer back. Peluso risks the puck to the corner. Burke leaves it there. Randy McKay got in there quickly, and he threw it behind Corey Millen, who was taken into the net by Adam Burt, and Burt will be penalized. We've played just over 4 minutes. We have no score.
Holiday greetings from Budweiser. The people who bring you Budweiser wish you and yours the very best of everything this holiday season.
Well, you're thinking about where to get sneakers. Think about this. We took all the sneakers from just one Bob's store and put a pair on every seat. And filled Fenway Park! With this many brand name sneaks in every Bob's store, you know you're gonna find the ones you want. To get $5 and $10 off Bob's already low prices, head over to everyone's favorite store. Now!
Let's go down to Bob's.
At the bottom of the gate A escalator as you are.
You'll see in the middle of your screen Adam Burt, number 6. He really takes Corey Millen out of the play here. That was a great shoot-in by the Devils. It handcuffed Burke. Burke couldn't play it. Adam Burt was turned the wrong way, and that's when McKay come off the wing and turned everyone around, and Burt had to take a speedy Corey Millen into the net, and therefore the interference call.
We look at the Southern New England Telephone power play and penalty killing numbers. The Devils' power play proficiency just over 18%, about average for the league, as is the Whalers' penalty killing percentage. Here's Stevens shooting, and it's tipped just wide by Zelepukin. Larry Zelepukin with his pass taken away by Castles. Chris Pronger has time to push it down the ice. Whalers during the winning streak have killed 13 of 14 penalties. Out comes Stevens. In his years in Washington, spent a lot of time on the power play up front.
Good job there by the Whalers. They were 4 strong across the blue line.
Bill Guerin steers the play and cuts, and he shoots, and he fires it over the shoulder of Burke. Zelepukin tangles with Cron. Jim Dowd across now as Albanine shoots. Stick save by Burke. The puck comes in front. It's tipped back to Tommy Albanine. The Swedish defenseman feeds Stevens. Albanine lets go the one-timer, blocked in front. Zelepukin shoots, and Burke got a piece of that as he moved over to meet the shot. Stevens fires, blocked by Marchment. Cron gets his stick on it. Stevens down. Marchment trying to dig it away. It comes to Pronger. He'll slide it off the top of the boards, and it hit the glass court. Bad break for the Whalers there. They couldn't clear. However, Cunneyworth sends it the rest of the way with 35 seconds on the penalty. The Devils try to move it quickly as the Whalers change up. McLean operates against his old teammate Verbeek. Verbeek keeps working in there. He's grabbed by McLean near the Whalers bench. And McGuire screaming at Mick Magoo there at the lack of a call. Modry turned back by Verbeek. He'll backhand to the corner. Patrick is back in good shape. He'll drive it off the boards and through center. Burt set to come out in 6 seconds. Niedermeyer, good speed, brings it in. Richer shoots, and he hits the outside of the post. And the rebound comes all the way back to Devil Ice. The penalty is expired. We're still scoreless.
You don't want Stefan Richer to have too many of those opportunities. We've seen in the past, he can drive it.
Terreri comes out to beat Cron to the puck. Niedermeyer checked now by Michael Nylander. Sanderson springs into action against Modry. Nylander finds Olapsky, and the pass behind him. It comes all the way back to Burke. The shots, one apiece through 6:40 here in the first period. Jaworski gives the puck now to Carpenter. He cuts in, trying to fire it across to Lemieux. It's blocked by Burt. Zanapski sends it to the line, knocked down by Stevens, and he bounces one toward the net. It's steered away by Burke. Lemieux fires in front. Zanapski stationed there. Steals, gave it up to Jaworski. Here's Carpenter shooting. He scores!
Now there's a couple of problems obviously on this goal. It started way back about a half a minute ago when the Whalers failed to clear at the blue line. Stevens kept it in, and here's a giveaway. I think you remember the other night, Rick, 3 or 4 times I mentioned that you do not use the middle of the ice. The safe route is the boards. Here's a good shot by Carpenter. He was bothered, but you could see something negative coming on that particular shift. There was not much intensity. Here's a nice level shot. Good shot by Bobby Carpenter as he gets it up and over the catching net. But more and more the Whalers, Rick, have been trying to get to clear the puck through the middle of the ice. That's no good.
That's Carpenter's 3rd goal of the season in 34 games. Jaworski the assist at 7:06. Peluso, as the Devils try to follow up with more good forechecking. Mark Potvin leads the puck in the corner for Mark Jansen. He'll chip it up the boards, deflected. Peluso sweeps it back in deep. Burt trying to keep it moving. Jansen hurries over for it. Potvin slams it off the boards and out. Youngster Jason Smith pursued by veteran Randy Cunneyworth, and Smith eludes it. Smith bounces one in. Burke steers it aside for Patrick. Corey Millen in on him, former teammate of Patrick's with the Rangers. Marchment, he'll send it down the boards. Terreri leaves it there for Smith. He's rushed by Castles. Richer's pass knocked down by Verbeek. Here's another pass up the middle.
You know what's going on here? I guess it's a contagious disease. That's what it is.
Storm tips that in deep in the Devils zone. Niedermeyer there for it. Has McLean waiting. He'll lift it across to Richer. Play broken up by Patrick. He was waiting for that pass and sprung right into action to intercept it. 1-0 Devils, 11:25 to go in the first period. The pass for David Emma. He tries to speed around Pronger, who uses his size advantage. Modry fires into a crowd. It's deflected into Burke, and he makes the stop. Let's pause for a regional break. You're watching the NHL on Sports Channel.
Get ready for more National Hockey League excitement when the Hartford Whalers play on Sports Channel. We've got the live action when the Whalers face off against the best teams in the NHL. The Whalers take on the expansion Florida Panthers Wednesday at 7:30. The Boston Celtics are back on Sports Channel. Watch as the Green take on the competition live from the Boston Garden. It's the NBA and the Boston Celtics on Sports Channel. New Jersey runs up against the Celtics Sunday at 6:30. For great live sports action, keep your set tuned to Sports Channel this January. College basketball season is in full swing, and we've got over 20 live matchups featuring teams like UMass, Holy Cross, and Northeastern. There's NBA basketball when the Celtics host 8 games at the Boston Garden. The Hartford Whalers will be busy when they wrap up 7 opponents from the NHL, including Boston and Montreal. Plus, there's live coverage of the U.S. World Cup team. It all comes your way this January on Sports Channel.
Well, if it's tic-tac-toe hockey and whatever, this is looking like a ping-pong match, and Jersey Devils have a 1-point lead. It's so, I don't know, they're so tentative, each team. There's been no forechecking. The only forechecking really was the goal, and no hitting. The Whalers should really try and test these young defensemen of the Devils.
Chibarev trying to move it up the boards. Zelapukin works in deep with Guerin. Jansen gets it to Pronger. And Chibarev fires it out over the blue line. Long-time Devil defenseman Ken Danico wrists it back in. Now the Devils certainly have tightened it up defensively this season under Jacques Lemaire. Going into that Ranger game, they were 3rd best in the league defensively. An 8-goal night against them dropped them to 7th, but defense has been their hallmark, and of course the Whalers have done the same in tightening it up, as we showed you in the pregame. And both these teams are playing it conservatively. Godinha pressured by Guerin. He'll try the other side to Gregg. Gregg lined up on the hit by Guerin, who dropped him. Zelapukin has Stevens charging into the play off the bench.
That's a tough play for Mark Gregg, playing left wing. He's a natural right winger. You take that one stride to your right. You know, you're looking for the puck, and that's when you're really vulnerable to getting nailed, as you just saw.
And he's just trying to get his timing back anyway. He hasn't played much lately. We're past the midway point of the first. A goal by Bobby Carpenter has the Devils in front here. Franz beating and shooting. Terreri kept the pads together to make the save. Claude Lemieux fires it into the skates of Albadine. He's chased by Sanderson. Zalapski with a pass picked off, and it's Carpenter cutting in. And to drop it back to Lemieux. Zalapski broke it up. Sanderson speeds ahead 2-on-3. Sanderson cuts in. He's slowed up at the defense by Albadine. Gets the puck back again. Connects with Nylander. Albadine knocked it loose, and Kron recovers it for the Whalers. Nylander checked by Carpenter. Kron with a shot, and it's sent in behind the net. Smith moves it to the corner. Nylander checked there by Albadine. Carpenter gets rid of it. And the Whalers trying to get reorganized at center. Mason Smith starts it ahead. Whalers have changed up. Potvin is on with Cunneyworth. And now Jansen joins the play. Cunneyworth taps the puck away from Emma. Potvin back for it. Patrick involved along with McLean. Richer reaches for it in there. McLean wins the puck. The shot for the point is knocked down, and Cunneyworth steps out. The lead pass. Jansen's trying to get to it at a tough angle. Looks to center in front of Potvin. It's swept away by Terreri. Niedermayer's belted by Cunneyworth. Richer maneuvers ahead. The lead broken up by Patrick. Playing his usual efficient game on defense. Niedermayer wrists it toward the net. Marchment in position to steal that. The Whalers have the numbers 4-on-3. Potvin leaves it. Cunneyworth waits. He'll wrist it in behind out of Potvin. Throws it right through the crease. It comes to Marchment. Back to Mark Potvin once again. He's bumped there by Modry. Emma and Jansen's involved in that battle for the puck. Potvin takes it. And a back hit it on goal. It's knocked down and picked up by McLean. John McLean in a line change will just roll it in deep. Shots are 4-2 Devils. The score 1-0 New Jersey with 7.5 to go here in the first. Castle gives the puck to Marchment. Sends it in on the net, steered away by Terreri. Stevens gets rid of it quickly. He'll send it over the glass and into the seats. 7:25 to go here in the first period.
Fuji Quick Snap cameras at Nobody Beats the Wiz. Taking a picture doesn't get any easier. Just point and shoot.
Pick up a Fuji Quick Snap Flash, or Quick Snap Waterproof, just $5.98 to $11.98. And for the brightest, most colorful prints, come to Nobody Beats the Wiz for Fuji Film and Fuji Color Processing.
Fuji Quick Snap cameras and Fuji Film at Nobody Beats the Wiz.
Smile, Dad.
A new way of seeing things.
Guests on Sports Channel receive a gift certificate, courtesy of the Pro Image and the Whaler Pro Image Shop.
The next time you can catch the Boston Celtics on Sports Channel will be Sunday, January 2nd, when the Green hosts the New Jersey Nets. Our coverage will begin at 6:30 with a pregame show right here on Sports Channel.
Look at the Devil bench. That looked like John McClain, was it? A veteran who needs 1 point to tie Kirk Muller, the all-time double point producer.
Devils move it ahead. Guerin flips it down the boards. Godinuk trying to hook up with Storm. Sends it back to Godinuk on the rush. Taken away by Stevens. He angles it to Zetapukin, and Pronger tipped that puck. It looked like it came up and hit Zetapukin in the face, but he continues out there. Storm backhands it ahead for Castles. Devils checking well here as they have the lead of 1-0. Here's a pass knocked down by Castles. He's onside, trying to play it to Verbeek. That didn't work. And the Devil defense chases down the puck behind their net. Danico fires it out to Big Mike Peluso. He and Peter Sidorkovich, who is backing up Terreri tonight, came from Ottawa in that deal we've talked about in the past week from the Senators side with Billington and Millette. Coming to Ottawa, Peluso throws it in front to Millen, shooting, and it's tipped by Pronger. The puck lands behind the net. Randy McKay goes to work against Godinuk. As McKay fires it, it hit Godinuk. Verbeek looks for help on the rush.
Like you just mentioned, the Devils are playing good defense. They're down 23 goals from this time last year. They're, like I said, 4th overall, 2nd in their division. They've been struggling a little of late, so they've got off to a great start, and they're cooling off a little bit, but their defense seems to be quite constant.
And we mentioned their 7-0 start this season. Since then, they're 13-12-4, just over 500, and they opened their season at home with a 7-1 record. And since then, the Devils have produced a home mark of only 4-5-1, and that includes winning their last 2 games here at the Meadowlands. Sanderson tries to gallop into that Devil zone. He'll challenge Alvaline, who lands the big hit. Nylander trying to turn on Lemieux. In front the shot, they score! Robert Cron fired it home off the tricky feed from Nylander, and the Whalers tied at 1.
Well, that goal was a result of the speed of Jeff Sanderson in penetrating the Devils' end. And they always, right there, you see, they forced the Devil to take him, and there's Nylander. He's going to reverse the play right here. Cron in good position, the 3rd guy back, and bingo, the second dangerous shot. The first shot of the game was a dangerous affair, but there's that famous European play on your forehand, going to the far side, shooting it out to the short side. But they got in there. That's the easiest the Whalers have got in there, and that was because of speed.
Cron scores his 13th. Nylander with the play to set him up at 14-40.
Assisted by the 92, Michael Nylander. And number 8.
Sanderson also gets an assist on the goal at 14-40. Cron ends an 8-game goalless streak, but I'll tell you, he's a guy that with all he does, when he doesn't score, you don't mind it so much.
He doesn't hurt you.
Here's Janssens looking in front for Verbeek, and that's broken up by Niedermeyer. Verbeek gets it back and threw it off Janssens. The Whalers have tied it. Less than 5 minutes to go here in the first period. Peluso leaving it for McKay. Circles, Trying the wraparound, stopped by Burke, and a crowd of players against it back. He shoots, and he fires it wide. The puck comes down to Millen. Out to Niedermeyer. He couldn't tame the bouncing puck to keep it in. Corey Millen picked up from L.A. for just a 5th-round draft pick. Ryan Marchman just got high stick by Millen right in front of Magoo, and play continues.
I just don't believe anyone else but Brian Marchman getting it in the chops. It would have been a penalty.
Here's a steal by Emma. Cuts in for the Devils. He shoots, and it's blocked at the defense by Godinyak, who's shaken up a little bit after taking that off the foot. Sandlak leaves it for Chibarev. Whalers slowed up on the rush. Godinyak barely makes it to the bench, where he's met by head trainer Bud Gouveia. Sandlak, his pass knocked down by McLean. Richer turns it into the Whalers zone to Emma. Pressed against the boards by Pronger. McLean tangles with Sandlak. Richer trying to circle out. Looks toward the net, feeds it back for Emma. The play read well by Pronger. Emma, who's had a pretty good impact offensively in this team since coming up from Utica, the American Hockey League, forces the whistle. Let's pause for a regional break. You're watching the NHL on Sports Channel.
Sports Channel has the drama and excitement of live college basketball. Watch when we present the top games featuring both national powers and local talents. California faces Wake Forest Thursday at 7:30. For great live sports action, keep your set tuned to Sports Channel this January. College basketball season is in full swing, and we've got over 20 live matchups featuring teams like UMass, Holy Cross, and Northeastern. There's NBA basketball when the Celtics host 8 games at the Boston Garden. The Hartford Whalers will be busy when they wrap up 7 of them from the NHL, including Boston and Montreal. Plus, there's live coverage of the U.S. World Cup team. It all comes your way this January on Sports Channel. Get ready for more National Hockey League excitement when the Hartford Whalers play on Sports Channel. We've got the live action when the Whalers face off against the best teams in the NHL. The Whalers face off against the New York Islanders Saturday at 1:30.
There's the coaching staff of the Whalers. You Steve Weeks. Kevin McCarthy at the top of your screen there. He's been shouting some instructions to his defense corps.
Dowd wins the face-off for the Devils. Here's Stevens shooting, saved by Burke. Adam Burt had it, lost, and it's fired wide by Tricky Zelapukin. He's dumped by Burt. Guerin, checked by Zalapski, down trying to circle, gets it out in front. It's steered away by Burke. Hotband reverses it, but Dowd is over there for it. Zalapski hemmed in by Zelapukin. Dowd trying to hook up with Bill Guerin. The return feed is knocked down by Burt. He slides it ahead for Cunnyworth. Hotband will bounce it into the corner. Whalers change up. Sanderson, Nylander, and Cron. The unit that has produced the Whalers' goal is back on with 2:42 to go here in the first. Cron trying to maneuver into that New Jersey zone. Does. Nylander shoots, and he sends it wide. A little more time to get that shot away, and didn't get good wood on it as the puck ends up in the photographer's booth next to the Devil bench.
Well, that was a reversal of roles. Cron feeding it to Nylander. Boy, we've lost the puck in the bench areas. This is a great big long bench area here because you got the press guys on each side of the bench areas. The puck's been there about 3 or 4 times.
Well, you got to be awake over there in the benches. Jerry, before we go any further, going to get this happy birthday wish in to young Steve Slow, looking in Tolland tonight before he goes to bed. I know it's not a school night, but he needs to, stay on his schedule, and we wish him happy birthday wishes. He's a big Whalers fan.
Yeah, and this is an important year for him as he's repeating grade 6.
I don't know about that, but Godinyak was just escorted to the Whalers dressing room, and he was shaken up after blocking a shot by David Emma in an earlier shift here in the period. Puck is chopped to Sanderson, trying to get it by Claude Lemieux. Terreri directs some traffic, leaves the puck for Albadine. Devils have Bruce Driver still out with a shoulder injury. Vyacheslav Fetisov not suited up on the defense. Here's a pass to Chorsky, deflected toward the net, and Burke steered that away. Lemieux is checked by Marchment. And Lemieux, big and strong at 6'2", 215, patrolling that corner. The puck worked away by Nylander. Back around for Sanderson. Lemieux steals, trying to center, and Sanderson recovered. Sanderson skating amid 4 Devils, trying to split the defense, slowed up finally by Smith, and the Devils clear it out. A minute and a half remaining in the period. Zalapsky got tangled up with Chorsky. Nylander's offside as we get the whistle.
Yeah, that was, I would say, a good 3/4, maybe a mile offside. But you couldn't hear the whistle in here, at least we couldn't. Pierre McGuire is trying to get his team really into the flow of things. He's quick changes, and he's trying everything he can. This is one of the difficult jobs of the coach when you know your team is really in the Jacques Lemaire. You know, when your team's struggling a little bit, or really not into it. It's not that they're playing bad; they're just not into it. You got to do the best you can to get them going. Do something unique to it. He's got them changing, so he's trying to get them thinking about things and making them much more alert than they have been.
I think Lemaire's trying the same thing. He was really disappointed in the lack of emotion showed apparently by his team, by all accounts that I've read in that game against the Rangers, where, you know, it's the big rivalry, of course, and one newspaper here said that usually the Devils' problem after a Ranger game is dealing with the emotional letdown of a game following that, but since they didn't have any emotion for the Ranger game, maybe they don't have to worry about that.
It's hard to believe that they wouldn't have any emotion in Madison Square Gardens for that particular evening. They're wild games, Ranger Devil games.
So he was rather mystified, I think, by the fact that his team wasn't ready for that game Sunday, and trying to whip him into shape for this one. I guess they had a pretty tough practice. Now Marchment is talking it over with Magoo.
That goes back to the high stick, or since it's Corey Millen, the low stick that got him in the chops.
Devils win the draw. Modry looking for room to shoot, trying to step around for Beek. Hooks it back to McLean. He'll let it go. Knocked down by Burke. Rebound loose in front. Burke makes a save on Emma. A great stop with his left leg. And Niedermeyer back with a touch-up, icing the call. 51 and 2/10 seconds to go in the period.
You know, they say that one of the weaknesses of the New Jersey Devils is their strength down the middle. They're not strong centermen. A couple of the chances they've created this period have been through winning draws. And the Whalers have got to pick it up on their end. And in that particular case, it was David Emma who clearly won the draw back to the point, and they had to, they adjusted pretty good, Jersey, as the defenseman went in. I guess it was McLean who went back there who had the original shot. That was good work by a well-executed face-off by the New Jersey Devils.
Jansen wins this one. Pronger keeps it moving to Verbeek. Back to Chris Pronger. Hemmed in by a pair of Devils. Now is Richer trying to center in front. Marchment tipped it, but not out. Modry wrists it into a crowd. Stopped in front. McLean tried to hook it on the net while prone on the ice. And it's finally lifted out by Castles with 30 seconds to go. Modry lost the puck to Castles. Slides it in the zone as the puck eludes Verbeek Terreri. But arrested off the boards, and he couldn't get it to the boards. Now Richer controls it with 15 seconds to go. Pronger has it. You mentioned, Gary, it hasn't been a great period for the Whalers, but they're at 1-1 here in the late going, and a chance to get their legs in the second as Marchment drives it in.
Yeah, certainly a bad news, good news situation. Not a great period, but they'll take 1-1 at any time. Burke was fine at the end of the period, made a couple great saves to preserve that 1-1 game, but now they have to go in and figure out what's happened and say, listen, we've got a good chance. We can be a lot better.
Well, coming up at the first intermission, we sat down with Whalers general manager Paul Holmgren. We'll present that conversation. We'll also have a look at the Shawmut Bank NHL scoreboard and first period highlights, so don't go away.
The father of America's Industrial Revolution, Eli Whitney, was from Connecticut. There are more biotech companies in New England than anywhere in the East. And the telephone was invented in Boston in 1876. What's not surprising is that the financial power behind tens of thousands of businesses in New England is Shawmut Bank. Having the strength and resources to be a leader in business banking is just one reason why New England banks with Shawmut.
It's the most magical time of the year, the holiday season, and your Jeep and Eagle dealers are working some magic of their own with an incredible zero-down holiday sale. Make no down payment and still save up to $1,500 on Jeep Grand Cherokee V8. Get big savings on Eagle Vision and save over $1,100 on Jeep Cherokee Sport. So hurry in and enjoy that magical feeling only the holiday season can bring. The zero-down holiday sale ends December 31st, so see your dealer today.
When you advertise in the SNET Yellow Pages, you give your business a big advantage. Because you take your business into virtually every home, and you stay there all year long. And anytime anyone needs almost anything, from an accountant to a zither, you're always right there when they're ready to buy.
Mommy, are they going to stay here all year?
The SNET Yellow Pages. The advantages are endless. SNET, we go beyond the call.
What's new from Xerox? Xerox Extreme 450 antifreeze and a new 4-year guarantee. We've taken our promise to extremes. For the next 4 years or the next 50,000 miles, we guarantee the temperature never drops below Xerox.
With ordinary frequent flyer programs, you eventually get free travel. So what's the difference? Continental's One Pass lets you earn free travel faster than any other program. That's the difference.
Welcome back between periods. Whalers general manager Paul Holmgren has joined us. And Paul, you're off to a terrific start. Your first year as a general manager, you've made a number of moves that have worked out extremely well to get this team turned around in the last month or so. The flurry of activity took place back in early November. It took a few weeks to get everybody going, but you've got to be very happy with the way things have developed.
Well, I'm happy with the changes we've made. Sometimes, because it did seem to take a long time to get going, I mentioned to you earlier that you wonder if there's too much change at such a quick time that doesn't give the players a chance to blend together and grow together, but it certainly looks now anyway like they have learned to play with each other a little better with the 4 games recently that we've won in a row, and hopefully we can continue that.
As you say, you're going to give this team a chance to settle back, see how they grow as a team through the season. Does that mean you don't actively pursue things maybe as much as you would have earlier in the season?
Well, I'd certainly like to give it a chance, give the thing a chance and let the dust settle and see where we're at. But I have to be honest that I have talked to other teams about improving our hockey club, and if something comes up that I think is going to improve our hockey club without mortgaging any part of our long-term future, I would certainly look at doing that.
Peter Nedved's name comes up a lot. Of course, he's a center holding out in Vancouver, and a number of teams have expressed some interest. You've talked to Vancouver, I understand, at some point about his availability. Where does that stand as far as the Whalers' interest in him?
Well, we would certainly be interested. I think Peter Nedved has a chance to be one of the top centers in the game, and he is a free agent, which means we could go out and sign him, but I just don't see signing Peter Nedved with the risk of losing Jeff Sanderson and being a big positive for us. So I would rather try to look into trading for him and see if we can come up with a match there, and then either have Pat sign him before we announce a trade or do something like that. We've looked at a lot of different options with Pat in Vancouver, but nothing really has come up yet. But obviously, because of the quality of the player, I think it's worth pursuing.
Homer, with a combination of the improvement of the Whalers, and then you look at some teams like Washington and the Islanders who haven't had as good a starts as people expected, Quebec also in that category. When you compare the Whalers as they stand now with those clubs, how do you like your team's chances in making the playoffs?
Well, I like them a lot. I think with our defense and the way our goaltending has been in the last stretch, we're not giving up nearly the chances we were early in the year because I think of the mobility and the experience of our defense and the quality of our defense. And Sean Burke and Frank and Jeff Reese have all played very well when they've had the chance to play recently. And I think when you don't give up very many chances and your goaltending is solid, it gives you a chance to win hockey games. And I think recently in the 2 games against Ottawa, they're pretty tight games, and the quality of our defense and the solid goaltending gives us a chance to score goals late in the game to win hockey games, and like last game, late in overtime. So we're getting some confidence offensively because of the strength of the goaltending and our defense in our own zone. I hope it can carry on from there.
Well, Homer, your deals have certainly helped to give this team a chance to make the playoffs, and that would be great for Whaler fans and the team as well. And we wish you the best of the new year, and thanks for joining us.
My pleasure, Rick. Thank you.
Paul Holmgren, our guest between periods. Stay with us. We'll check the Shawmut Bank NHL scoreboard in just a moment.
For great live sports action, keep your set tuned to Sports Channel this January. College basketball season is in full swing, and we've got over 20 live matchups featuring teams like UMass, Holy Cross, and Northeastern. There's NBA basketball when the Celtics host 8 games at the Boston Garden. The Hartford Whalers will be busy when they wrap up 7 opponents from the NHL, including Boston and Montreal. Plus, there's live coverage of the U.S. World Cup team. It all comes your way this January on Sports Channel. The Boston Celtics are back on Sports Channel. Watch as the Green take on the competition live from the Boston Garden. It's the NBA and the Boston Celtics on Sports Channel. New Jersey runs up against the Celtics Sunday at 6:30. Sports Channel has the drama and excitement of live college basketball. Watch when we present the top games featuring both national powers and local talents. California faces Wake Forest Thursday at 7:30.
Tuesday night, the Eddie Yendelman Football Show here on Sports Channel is going to be hosted by my colleague from Sports Radio WEEI, the one and only Craig Mustard. I'm going to be in Aruba. I'm going to be doing the Lombardo with Connie Chung while you're talking about the Patriots, and I'm going to be shimmying up large coconut trees, racing the natives, and then down again and into the drink. I have to tell you, I am not going to be here, but the Patriots will win.
Catch Eddie Yendelman's Tuesday Night Football right after the Whalers Tuesday on Sports Channel.
Hi, this is Barbara Franzoso of the Sports Gals reminding you to tune into Sports Channel this Tuesday for another exciting show. This week we'll get down and dirty with Fred Smirlis as we talk football with the former Patriots nose guard. Also keep in mind that we'll have our new point-counterpoint discussion as well as the coffee class on this week's show. So tune into Sports Gals this Tuesday night at 11 only on Sports Channel.
The Sports Gals, tough sports talk every Tuesday night only on Sports Channel.
Welcome back to the Brendan Byrne Arena here at the Meadowlands Complex. A 1-1 tie, first intermission, Whalers and Devils. Let's go to the Shawmut Bank NHL scoreboard. We see that Philadelphia has a 3-2 lead over the Pittsburgh Penguins in the first period. Philadelphia had scored only 3 goals in only 1 of its last 9 games coming in, and they're coming off a 2-0 shutout last night. They have the lead in the first period tonight. Tampa Bay at Quebec. The Lightning has been struggling with 1 win in its last 8. And the Lightning get off to a good start, 1-0 in the first period over Quebec. Anaheim starts a 6-game road trip on the island against the Islanders, who've won 6 in a row coming in, but the Mighty Ducks have the 1-0 lead there in the first period. The Florida Panthers are in the midst of playing 10 of 11 games on the road, but that doesn't bother them. Their road record this year is 8-6-2, and they have a 2-0 lead in the first period at the Cap Center, leading the Washington Capitals. Later on, we'll have the Calgary Flames at the San Jose Sharks, who are winless in 8, and the Vancouver Canucks meet the LA Kings at the Great Western Forum. Vancouver has won the 2 previous meetings between the clubs. We'll return with a look at highlights from the first period here in New Jersey in just a moment.
Okay, classic cars.
63 VAG.
Split window.
Right.
68 Camaro Super Sport.
GTO, any year.
Nice. Gran Torino.
Starsky and Hutch. Good car.
65 Mustang Ragtop.
It's obvious.
75 Pacer.
Tail fin.
Bumper bullets.
Bench seats.
Drive-ins. Boss 302s.
427 big block LED8 with an 850 double pump.
Beechwood aged Budweiser. Crisp, clean, classic.
Nobody Beats the Whiz knows that the concept of watching TV has changed dramatically over the past few years. Seeing a movie at home is now a larger-than-life sight and sound experience. At the center of this home theater revolution is the industry leader, Mitsubishi. With the Mitsubishi Digital Stereo Big Screen, you get the clearest picture available, and Dolby Pro Logic sound will make your viewing experience dynamic. Mitsubishi and Nobody Beats the Whiz. What home theater is all about.
From Gillette comes a revolutionary form of antiperspirant protection. Gillette Clear Gel Antiperspirant. Because it's a clear, clean, powerful gel. It goes on smoothly with no white residue to form an invisible barrier of protection. All-day protection against both wetness and odor. Gillette Clear Gel Antiperspirant. One of the advanced deodorants and antiperspirants in the Gillette series.
Show me some wine. Keep standing by. Just entertain me. Champagne me. Show me you love me. Kid glove me. Best way to cheer me. Cashmere me. I'm getting hungry. Peel me a grape.
We're tied at 1 here at the Meadowlands. Rick Peckham and Jerry Cheevers back here at intermission number 1 to look at first period highlights, Jerry, and we'll see the Devils' goal scored at 7:06 by Bobby Carpenter.
Well, we'll see that the Whalers trying to come out of their end. They're going to. Charlie Zalewski makes a bad decision here as he retrieves the puck. Oh, there, we just saw the end of the goal, but he tried to get rid of it through the middle of the ice and was intercepted by Chorsky, and he gave it to Bobby Carpenter, who threw it over the glove of Sean Burke. Here you see it right here. We've been talking about that for a long time. That's a dangerous play, and it backfired there on Charlie Zalewski and the Whalers. And that gives the Devils a 1-0 lead, and they had most of the chances at opportunity, but we have mentioned in our opening and during the early part of this game, the Whalers got to utilize their speed, and they did in this particular shift, getting in on top of the Devils defense. And you see Nylander with a nifty little pass there, and it was a nifty little pass to Robert Cron, who drilled it through Chris Terrera. Here it is from up top again. I'll tell you, I don't know how some of these guys do it. This was a difficult pass to make, as when Nylander reversed his reverse it right here. This was a forehand pass from almost an impossible angle, and he had everyone drifting to the left of the goaltender and got it on Cron's stick, and bingo, it's a 1-1 game. So the Whalers should really take advantage of the situation, being tied, and go after this team. This is a beatable team tonight, the Devils, and as we saw in that goal, Rick, speed will beat the Devils tonight.
Let's check the scoring summary. We see Carpenter scores his 3rd goal of the season at 7:06. Chorsky the assist off the steal, and Cron's 13th, assisted by Nylander, who leads the Whalers with 21 assists. Jeff Sanderson also figuring in the scoring with his team leading 34th point. The time 14:40. The nobody beats the Wiz shots and power play numbers. The Devils with a wide advantage, 10-5 in the first period in shots. They had the only power play opportunity and failed to capitalize. So it's 1-1 going to the second period here at the Byrne Meadowlands Arena.
Sports Channel has the drama and excitement of live college basketball. Watch when we present the top games featuring both national powers and local talent. It's the Golden Harvest Classic Championship game Thursday at 9:30. For great live sports action, keep your set tuned to Sports Channel this January. College basketball season is in full swing, and we've got over 20 live matchups featuring teams like UMass, Holy Cross, and Northeastern. There's NBA basketball when the Celtics host 8 games at the Boston Garden. The Hartford Whalers will be busy when they wrap up 7 opponents from the NHL, including Boston and Montreal. Plus, there's live coverage of the U.S. World Cup team. It all comes your way this January on Sports Channel. Get ready for more National Hockey League excitement when the Hartford Whalers play on Sports Channel. We've got the live action when the Whalers face off against the best teams in the NHL. The Whalers face off against the New York Islanders Saturday at 1:30.
These are news critic comments about the sports writers on TV.
You have provided us with quite a few pregnancies in the lifetime of this show.
And I've heard enough about it. I don't want any part of
That
it.
poor, suffering, beautiful lady, she may be picketing this basement. What's moonlighting, though? What are you talking about?
What do you mean, moonlighting?
What is
It was a
moonlighting?
show. There must be a show.
Yeah.
It's on a thing called TV.
A success.
Hey, what's it?
Unlike a moonlighting.
Well, who got pregnant on Moonlight?
Wasn't Bruce Willis.
Yogi, Mantle, I would get another pretty face. There's 3 Hall of Famers sitting there with me.
You know, if I'd have shaved my mustache, I could have probably pitched in the big leagues in 1986.
First thing they will look at is your hat. The next thing they look at was your glove.
Oh, that's all. Hey, part of the reason that I'm not involved in the game of baseball is that I did march to my own tune.
How can you be in the Hall of Fame? Some little old red-headed kid from that little old town. It was quite a thrill for me.
Catch baseball's heroes on Halls of Fame.
1-1 going to the second. Here's a reminder for you. Give the gift of exciting NHL hockey this holiday season with the Whalers Holiday Hat Trick ticket package. Buy a $30 ticket to each of the following games. The Penguins on the 2nd, the Bruins on the 24th of January, and the Rangers February 19th. And with your 3-game package, you'll receive a free copy of the 93-94 Whalers yearbook, 64 pages filled with photos of all your favorite players. Call 1-800-WHALERS now to order your holiday hat trick.
I was just watching Larry Robinson come to the bench, the assistant coach of the Devils. I wonder what he's thinking when he sees Chris Pronger play. You think he sees himself a little bit, as he was a gangly youngster at one time?
Well, everyone compares Chris at this stage to a young Larry Robinson. And of course, Larry spent a little time in the minors in a talent-laden Montreal team. They had quite a few very, very good players, future stars in the minor leagues. They just couldn't break in. It was a numbers game with those old Canadiens teams, but obviously he developed into a Hall of Fame defenseman. What a long career he had. His partner on the bench there, Jacques Lemaire, is a Hall of Famer.
Yeah, they were a tough group, as I could attest to. But Robbie was a late developer. I think at this stage, obviously, as Pronger just turned 19, he's farther ahead than Robbie was. But still, it's the end results that count. If you can be anywhere near, if you're being compared to Larry Robinson and can reach that level, that's okay.
Castles wins the draw. Verbeek tees it up with a shot. It's deflected away. Patrick in from the point trying to center. That is tipped, and it reaches Verbeek. Throws it into Storm skates. Verbeek trying to battle to get it back. Castles with a quick centering attempt. Too many Devils on the scene. Zelepukin out ahead for Dowd. Now Zelepukin brings the play in. We'll get the whistle for the offside as Guerin was well ahead of the play, and numerous referees wearing blue jerseys made the call on that.
That's for sure. Here's a look at Jim Dowd. This is his 6th game for the Islanders. He's averaging a point a game, and the word here is that he is going to get every chance in the world to be a regular centerman as they're the Devils. I keep calling this team the Islanders, I believe, didn't I? I think I said that in the intermission, but they're really weak in the center position. They want a bigger centerman, and Dowd might answer that.
Bernie Nichols is healthy but not suited up for this game. He's out along with Martin Brodeur as the 3rd goalie. Fine young prospect. Fetisov's out, as we mentioned. Also Ben Hankinson. Bobby Holik had been out with a shoulder injury. He is just about set to come back for the Devils. Here's Jansen shooting off Peluso, and it's fired away at the defense by Niedermeyer. Jansen lays it in behind. Potvin couldn't pick it up. Here's Zalapski. He'll tap it in behind the net. Potvin collides with Peluso. The tough hombres there. Zalapski winds and fires, and it's tipped just wide. Cunnyworth into Potvin. Going to wind it out in front. He's held by Millen. Janssens comes by. Cunnyworth also involved. Zalapski compacts the play. Janssens fires it off the back of the goal. Potvin chopped it in front. A wild pass that comes all the way back to the Whalers zone. Rather uncharacteristic of Mark.
Yeah, he's very poised back there, but that was a good shift. It was at the end of the shift, and the Whalers need a lot of shifts like that. That was a great one.
Niedermeyer leaves it on the board. Sanderson drives it. Kicked out by Terreri. Right to Richer. Emma scoots ahead. He's got McLean with him. Burke plays the dump in, and McLean keeps an eye on him. And finally, we get a halt to play from Mick Magoo as we've played nearly 2 minutes here in the 2nd period. Sean Burke, who played parts of 4 seasons with the Devils before moving on to the Whalers. Of course, with a tremendous debut after the '88 Olympics, playing for the Canadian national team and leading the Devils into the Stanley Cup semifinals.
That was the donut year, I believe.
Yes, the year of the donut.
The Whalers had a good opening shift there, Janssens, Cunnyworth, and Potvin, and when the Devils finally got out, they were in great shape defensively. Sanderson was back. They loaded their blue line and nothing.
Pronger's in ahead of the play, so Verbeek holds up. Oilers have the only 2 shots of this period. Big collision with Emma and Verbeek. 2 little guys making for a big collision out at center ice. Storm goes to work in that corner. Albaldine slips in behind the net. Castle steals the puck, feeds it to Verbeek, shooting, and he sends it wide as Smith just got a piece of him to push him off balance. Richer slowed up by Godinyak, who's back in action after taking a shot off the foot. Now McLean and Verbeek are pushing and shoving near the blue lines. The fans have been wanting a call for many seconds now. McLean goes down, trying to encourage a call from Magoo, who just looks on as play continues. Delapuka to Albaldine shooting, and it's deflected away in front. Albaldine checked by Pronger. Richer back to Albaldine, trying to feed it toward the net. Godinyak pushes it ahead to Storm. Oilers want to change up. Nylander over the boards, along with Kron and Sanderson. Albaldine pushes it in deep in the Hartford zone. Sean Burke there to play it, waiting for the steal. Valeri Zelapukin, he turned it over to Brian Marchment. Game tied at 1. First period goals by Carpenter for New Jersey and Kron for the Whalers. Sanderson circles back with a puck, gives it to Patrick. Kron ahead to Nylander. Sanderson with speed. The pass, though, is in his skates. Jim Dow, native of Brick, New Jersey.
A unique home.
Sounds like a tough neighborhood.
Very good.
Patrick takes it. Marchment ahead for Sanderson, dug away by Guerin. Delapukin goes to work on Kron. Dow. Sanders for Guerin, and down he goes. Crowd wanted a penalty on Patrick. Play continues. Patrick gets to the puck, protects it against Dowd. Waiting at the point, it's Danico. Lets the wrist shot go, and Marchment deflected that over the glass and out of play. 15:45 to go in the second period. We're tied at 1.
The first World Series was played in Boston in 1903. The game of basketball was invented in Springfield, Massachusetts. And the first ice hockey game in America took place in Connecticut. What's not surprising is that every major professional sports team in New England relies on the financial power of Shawmut Bank. Being New England's sports bank is just one reason why New England banks with Shawmut.
To never say never of what is deep inside.
For 74 years, we've never missed a practice. From high school to the pros, Champion is the choice of America's teams.
There's only one thing better than a Whalers win, and that's celebrating with an ice cold Budweiser, the king of beers.
Referee Mick Magoo is certainly getting a lot of heat from the Devil bench. Jacques Lemaire, who's a pretty quiet guy, doesn't show much emotion, or he was screaming at Magoo, and I think it was over the Verbeek McLean hookup.
Niedermeyer almost left without the puck. Chibarev came out on him. Niedermeyer brings it in. Lemieux swings and misses, and a bouncing puck out in front. He was all alone as Niedermeyer found him, stepping in from the blue line. Sandlak headmans to Chibarev, cutting in. Slides it goal now. That's tipped just wide by Janssens. Modry moves it up the board. Zalapski there to put a halt to that. Modry gets it once again. Carpenter slips ahead with Chorsky. Mark Gregg back for it. Mark seeing his first game action since December the 7th. He has been on the sidelines for the past 8 games. Sandlak bounces one off the shin pads of Chibarev. Niedermeyer to his partner Modry. Niedermeyer's 20. Modry is 22. A young pairing out there for the Devils. Sandlak couldn't hold the pass. Modry has it back.
Yeah, they're going with some youth back there. Kaprizov ready to play, I believe. He's coming off of some sort of injury, but he's ready to play, and he's a scratch. So youth in the Devils lineup tonight on defense.
And getting a chance with Driver out for a significant portion of the season with a shoulder injury. Gudinyak drives it in for the Whalers. And the puck hit the back of the goal, comes out to Smith. Waiting at the point, it's Gudinyak. Winds and fires, and Terreri out to play the shot. And it comes right back to him to cover it.
Well, it's good to see Alexander Gudinyak back on the ice. He went to the dressing room early, as you recall, in the first period, as he took one off the foot. There's ex-Devils Sean Burke playing excellent goal. I'll tell you, there's a lot of goaltenders. You know, someone asked me in the press room today, why do you think there's the goals against are down? And certainly one of the reasons is the style of a lot of hockey teams. Someone told me the other night that 18 teams were playing trap hockey, whatever that means. It's loading up the neutral zone and taking the lanes away, and therefore the chances. But personally, I think the goaltending is at the top of, it's at a top level right now. But Brad McCrimmon, who I sat with the press room, come up with a pretty good reason why the goals against down. He thinks the league's a little older than it might have been, and so players are getting up there and they're better defensively, they're wiser defensively. The experience factor is one of the, it made a lot of sense.
Here's Scott Stevens. Moving it ahead, winds and fires. It's handled by Burke. He'll wrist it out of the zone himself. Yeah, I had a chat with Brad a couple of weeks ago about that for a magazine article for the Whaler program as the puck is shot out of play. And yeah, he mentioned that. He said that, well, there were a lot of goals scored back in the early 80s when a lot of these players that you're speaking of now as experienced veterans were breaking in like a Scott Stevens. And he says, you know, there was quite a turnover from older rosters. He said that Bruins team he broke in with you had something like 12 guys over 30. And over the next couple of years, a lot of teams made the move to youth. And you're going to get a lot of defensive mistakes when that happens. Now all these guys are, you know, in their 8th, 9th, 10th years in the league. So
it certainly makes a lot of sense. But I have to stick up for the goaltenders union. I think the goaltending is excellent.
Yeah, he did point that out as well. And he complained a bit about the size of the equipment that the guys use.
I don't blame him. I couldn't lift it.
Here's Sanderson winding. Makes the shot, brings it in, feeds it across to Cron. He'll let it go from a sharp angle, and Danico got a piece of it. Out comes Zelapuka. He played 6.5 here in the second, tied at 1. Guerin off the board shooting, and Burke was ready with a pad save. Guerin steps out of the corner. Stevens pushes it on goal. Burke the save. Rebound comes out in front, and the Devils hold it in. Bill Guerin hustling in there for New Jersey. Going to work around Pronger. Beats Danico at the point. Wrist shot into a crowd is deflected by Zelapukin. Burke plays the puck to the corner. Nylander on the boards. Couldn't get it by Stevens. He'll wrist it. He sends it on goal. A save. Penalty upcoming to the Whalers. Reaching for it. Dowd. He couldn't get it on goal. Zelapukin goes down. And we'll get a penalty for interference. Let's pause for a regional break. You're watching the NHL on Sports Channel.
For great live sports action, keep your set tuned to Sports Channel this January. College basketball season is in full swing, and we've got over 20 live matchups featuring teams like UMass, Holy Cross, and Northeastern. There's NBA basketball when the Celtics host 8 games at the Boston Garden. The Hartford Whalers will be busy when they wrap up 7 opponents from the NHL, including Boston and Montreal. Plus, there's live coverage of the U.S. World Cup team. It all comes your way this January on Sports Channel. Get ready for more National Hockey League excitement when the Hartford Whalers play on Sports Channel. We've got the live action when the Whalers face off against the best teams in the NHL. The Whalers face off against the New York Islanders Saturday at 1:30. The Boston Celtics are back on Sports Channel. Watch as the Green take on the competition live from the Boston Garden. It's the NBA and the Boston Celtics on Sports Channel. New Jersey runs up against the Celtics Sunday at 6:30.
See at the top right of your screen? That's going to be an interference call to Sean Burke as he hits Eric Guerin. And Michael Nylander will serve it, and the Whalers' excellent penalty killing will have to continue.
Devils have had the only 2 power play chances in this hockey game so far. Adam Burt got a minor penalty for interference in the first. Now Sean Burke here in the second. Here's a backhander by Richer and a save by Sean Burke. Moldry Over to Niedermeyer firing, and Jansen's tipped that away. Patrick drives it off the glass and over the line. Castles goes down, covers the puck, and that will bring about a stoppage in play outside of the Whalers zone.
Good effort by Andy Castles. He may get a little rest here, as he was on there as the second centerman in that faceoff in the Whaler end. Andy's. Watch how casually Sean Burke plays this. He was well in control there. He just slid the right foot over. I tell you, the Lemaire must be doing a good job. On a couple of occasions tonight, they really had good plans off winning faceoffs in the Whalers end.
Emma chips it in off Patrick. Marchman had the puck caught in his equipment. He got a stick from John McLean. Now play continues. Boy, Mick Magoo's not going to stop play for Brian Marchman tonight. That we know. Here's Emma. Out to Niedermeyer. Back to Emma. Fires side of the goal. Richer trying to stuff it home, and big Sean Burke at 6'4" and 210 had enough size to cut off the lane to Richer and cover the puck. We've got 1:20 left on the penalty.
Well, Brian Marchman, you know, he's the type of player who's always going to be in the thick of it. He puts his whole heart and soul and body into the game, and he got another stick in the face here. And as you said, Mick Magoo once. I'll tell you, he's steaming. Let's watch right here. He's juggling the puck right here. Right there. I mean, what the heck? That's little David Emma got the stick up. I know he's batting for the puck, but once again, Rick, and we say it all the time, you're responsible for the action of your stick. That's an out-and-out call. I know that Magoo was on the other side of the ice and he was maybe screened, but boy, oh boy, he
obviously missed that one, or just decided it wasn't serious enough. Here's a pass in front to Lemieux, directing it on the net. Burke the save. It's chipped away by Pronger. Just over a minute remaining on Burke's interference call. Nylander serving it. Out comes Niedermeyer. Still a 1-1 tie. We're 8 minutes into play in the second. Burke out to handle it. Sends it high off the glass. It comes down to Niedermeyer. Looks for Lemieux. Claude Lemieux fires in front. It hit Adam Burt. Bounce to McLean. Slides it around the boards to Stevens. Two Devils trying to get set up in front. Emma and Lemieux. Who now rips out of the slot. Lemieux gets the pass, trying to put it in front for Emma. It's directed wide by Burt. Lemieux around to McLean. 30 seconds on the penalty. Niedermeyer over to Stevens. Wristing it in front. Tipped, and Lemieux couldn't find it. Adam Burt did, and out comes Cron. Cron takes on a pair of Devils, and he'll go for a little skate here. He's tripped up by Niedermeyer, and taking over on the puck is Emma. The Whaler bench wanted a call there. Now we're going to get a whistle with 10 seconds to go on the penalty.
Looks like a two-liner. Andy Castles will take a little stroll over to Magoo. No, it was a fake confrontation. You'll see this is the deflection. Claude Lemieux a little tight there. Got handcuffed somewhat.
Castle's in doubt on this draw. Nylander stands up in the penalty box. He'll be out shortly. Godinyak drives it in deep in the Devil zone. The Devils have 7 shots in this period. Hartford 3. As the penalties expired, it's wristed down the ice by Verbeek. This will be an icing call with Albany reaching in there for the touch-up. Whalers home tomorrow night. They'll be hosting the Florida Panthers at 7:40 at the Civic Center Coliseum. If you can't make it to the game, we'll have it for you on Sports Channel. But we're talking about Florida at the intermission as we look at Nylander, and they have an 8-6-2 record on the road, and they're up to a good start at the Cap Center tonight. And they're in the midst of 10 out of 11 games on the road, and no problem for Roger Nielsen and John Van Beesbrook's club.
Yeah, they've only lost 1 in 8. We're talking about potential Hart Trophy candidates, and John Van Beesbrook's name certainly pops up there. I think he and Fedorov for Detroit are 2 certain candidates right now as we approach the halfway mark.
Albany looks for room, dishes off. Guerin with the shot. It bounced off a couple of players in front. Castles finds the handle. Godinyak Edman's it to Zalapski leading the rush. Joined by Verbeek, dropping it back. Zalapski to Jansen, shooting wide of Chris Terreri. With Jason Smith, part of a sandwich there as Verbeek belted him. Storm on a giveaway. Gives it to Castles, back to Storm, shooting. Terreri came out to make the save, and the puck is left. Guerin speeds ahead. Zalapski with his speed cuts back defensively. Guerin and Zalapski collide, and Zalapski tumbles heavily into the boards. The puck comes through the slot. Zarley gets up. He's all right. Verbeek finds the puck. Slides it to center.
That was an awkward tumble for Zarley, but the Whalers were fortunate with Zarley Zalapski chasing Guerin, as Zarley probably the quickest defenseman on the team.
Niedermeyer trying to step around Godinyak, couldn't quite pull off the move. Lemieux forced back at center, and the puck was deflected with a high stick. 9:41 remaining, second period. We're tied at 1.
Well, you're thinking about where to get sneakers. Think about this. We took all the sneakers from just one Bob store and put a pair on every seat. And filled Fenway Park. With this many brand name sneaks in every Bob store, you know you're gonna find the ones you want. To get $5 and $10 off Bob's already low price, head over to everyone's favorite store. Now!
Let's go down to Bob's.
Fuji Quick Snap cameras at Nobody Beats the Whiz. Taking a picture doesn't get any easier. Just point and shoot.
Pick up a Fuji Quick Snap Flash, or Quick Snap Waterproof, just $5.98 to $11.98. And for the brightest, most colorful prints, come to Nobody Beats the Whiz for Fuji Film and Fuji Color Processing.
Fuji Quick Snap cameras and Fuji Film at Nobody Beats the Whiz.
Smile, Dad.
A new way of seeing things.
We're going to see Thierry with his best save of the game. Jim Storm, a left-handed shot coming down the right side, gets in great position. You see that? And it's a quick release. Good save by Chris Thierry. His best save of the game.
Chibarev out between Gregg and Sandlak, and as Jerry pointed out, Mark Gregg skating on left wing tonight. Marchment and Patrick defensively. Sandlak gets the puck to Gregg. He'll dump it in. Quick change by the Whalers. Here McGuire wants the Nylander line on against Peluso, McKay, and Corey Millen. Braun, who has the Hartford goal. Quick test Modry. Leaves it for Sanderson. Millen takes over. Millen, and it worked free by Marchment. Niedermeyer turns against Sanderson. Kicked out by McKay. Nylander reached for the puck, and he'll throw it back in deep in the Devil zone. Modry fires off Peluso's stick. It carries the length. This will be an icing call with Patrick back. And Peluso and Marchment go to the boards, but they're separated very quickly by Brian Murphy.
You know, that's really funny, you know, like Murphy's right in there between Peluso and Marchment, like a holy war is going to break out. You know, what if it was like Fedorov and Gretzky going in there? Are they going to get right between these two guys? Or like Adam Oates and Gretzky, or, you know, those type of players. You put your arm in there, come on, you two. You know.
Maybe the officials were like us, Jerry. They were looking for a little more life between these clubs tonight than we've seen.
Maybe they're hoping. Maybe he went in to say, why don't you two guys start something?
Yeah, what's the matter with you guys? But the Whalers have shown little fire in this game, and the Devils on their home ice have shown little in that department so far in this game, as we're tied at 1. Here's a shot from the point by Burt, played away by Terreri, and Danico slides it around on the boards. Out for Chorsky. Chibarev trying the tricky play to Gregg. He's dumped by Carpenter. Zalapski or Chibarev, who picked up a pair of assists in the victory over Ottawa Sunday, lost the puck to Chorsky and now gets it back. Gregg trying to get it by Danico. Hooks it out in front. Chibarev sweeps it ahead to Sandlak. Big house Sandlak, as he's known to his teammates, held up at the line. Carpenter to Stevens. 3 Whalers back. Stevens fires it in front. Only Whalers on the scene. Mark Gregg pushes it ahead to Zalapski's stick. Stevens takes over. Emma plays it to Chorsky, and he just made the pass a split second too late. The play is offside.
You know, the shots are 17-9 for the Devils, which is a differential of 8. That's just the result of the 2 power plays, really, that they've had.
Yeah, most of the shots, 7 shots in the second period, came right around that power play opportunity and during it. Whalers have the Castles, Verbeek, and Storm line on. Pronger is paired with Godinyak. Alexander gets the return pass, now makes the feed ahead to Castles, in for Pat Verbeek, looks, fires, pad save by Terreri. Lively rebound comes right back to Verbeek. Castles, checked by Albadine, trying to get it out in front. Hands it to Pronger. Storm patiently hangs on. Not hurried into making a mistake. Gets it back. Godinyak looks. He fires. Stopped by Terreri. Verbeek out in front trying to jam it home. It's set just wide. He had been battling with Albadine out in front of Terreri. Albadine brings it ahead along with McLean. Whalers back in good shape defensively. And the play's offside. Albadine stumbled in over that blue line with 7:01 remaining in the second.
That's been a constant tonight also, Rick, is the Whalers being back in good shape defensively. Even though they had some pressure on Terreri in that last shift, they made sure they had a 3rd guy back, and they are once again in pretty good shape through the neutral ice zone. You see 3 Whalers, and it just goes off the post. Here's the original shot, but it was Andy Castles who just missed to the side of the net, who was the guy back. There's Captain Pat Verbeek, the ex-little Devil.
He had a couple of goals and an assist in that win over New Jersey on home ice last Wednesday night. Spent his first 6 years in the NHL in a New Jersey uniform before moving on to Hartford. A memorable deal. Traded for Sylvain Turgeon. He's 6th all-time in the Devils scoring. A couple of pretty big years for New Jersey before moving on to Hartford. As Jansen slides it in deep. Terreri out to sailing off the glass. It comes down to Dowd. He's checked by Potvin. Zelepukin brings it in. Now to Niedermeyer in the rush. Backhanding it behind the net. Patrick trying to dig it loose. He's chased by Zelepukin. Cunningworth tips it, but not out. Niedermeyer fires it front. They score! Valeri Zelepukin tipped it home off the quick reactions of Niedermeyer to direct it toward the net. New Jersey's back in front.
Zelepukin was coming out of the corner to the left of Burke, and this shot by Niedermeyer, we'll see if it was intentionally just put to the left of Burke. You see on the top of your screen, yeah, this was just a pass. He recognized Zelepukin coming out, and he easily tipped it past Sean Burke for his 16th of the year. That was well done by Scott Niedermeyer. Beautifully executed by Niedermeyer, that pass right on the tape, and Zelepukin just had to turn his stick to give the Devils a goal lead.
Niedermeyer gets the only assist on the goal. Now cutting in, it's Lemieux, and it's poked away by Burke. Devils come right back with a golden opportunity as the Whalers moving ahead now. Braun and Nylander stopped at the line. Stevens sends it out. Zelepukin 16th from Niedermeyer at 13:36. And Terreri plays the puck. Chorsky trying to get it by Zalapski, and apparently he did. Pat DiPuzzo, the New Jersey native, on the call and halts play. 5:49 to go here in the second. New Jersey leads.
Football. Real football. On real grass.
Lambeau Field in snow.
No,
too obvious. What about the fearsome foursome?
Purple People Eaters.
Carl Eller.
No name defense.
The Oakland Raiders.
Baltimore Colts. Hey, Mike Curtis.
Ray Nitschke.
Willie Lanier.
Immaculate reception.
Franco's Italian.
Oh, real fullback.
Franco Harris, Marv Hubbard, take your pick.
No. The snake declares there was 26 seconds left. AFC semifinals versus Miami.
Beechwood aged Budweiser. Crisp, clean, classic. When you advertise in the SNET Yellow Pages, you give your business a big advantage. because you take your business into virtually every home, and you stay there all year long. And anytime anyone needs almost anything, from an allergist to zinnias, you're always right there when they're ready to buy.
Mommy, are they going to stay here all year?
The SNET Yellow Pages. The advantages are endless. SNET, we go beyond the call.
Immediately after Zalapukin give the Devils a lead, Claude Lemieux walked in all alone. Watch this play by Sean Burke, and he certainly utilized his reach there as he poke checked straight out. That's not really a good fundamental play, but he was able to stay with it, just poke the puck off the stick of Claude Lemieux.
Well, the quantity of chances that the goalies have faced, the most certainly have been faced by Burke, and certainly the quality. He's faced some tough ones and has come up with some big stops. However, he trails 2-1. Adam Burke to Cron, tipping it in deep. Stevens gets there, pursued by Sanderson. Dowd and Nylander also in the scene. Shots in this game, 18-11. As the Devils move it out, it's Zalapukin, who really came on strong in the final weeks of the season last year. And here's a dump in that came off the glass support right out in front, and the Whaler defense was able to sweep it away as Burke was there. Cron. Zalapukin had 10 goals in his last 12 games last season. He ended up with 23, and nearly half of those in the final 12 games. And he's been a dangerous man this year. Here's Cron shooting, and it's blocked by Niedermayer. Stonapsky. His pass played away by Niedermayer. The Devils' first rounder in 91. Mark Gregg trying to operate out of that corner, and away comes Zalapukin. The lead pass for Guerin. Lets the shot go from the goal line. Hugging the post was Burke. Pronger trying to dig it out of Zalapukin's skates. Niedermayer walks in. Wrist shot is blocked by Pronger. And he takes over. He'll just lift it down the ice. The Whalers want to make a player change. Terreri has to handle it. Modry pursued by Sandlak. Pass picked off as Chibarev gets it to Craig. He scores! Mark Gregg rips it home with 4:09 to go in the second period, and the Whalers have tied it at 2.
Well, a tough play for the rookie Yaroslav Modry as he got into that area we seem to be talking about a lot. Here's when he goes in front of the net and tries to make that play. Boy, oh boy, when do these players learn? I immediately looked at the bench when he tried to make this play, and Big Robbie was just shaking his head. He had his head down and shaking it. Good play by Chibarev, and a beautiful shot by Mark Gregg, who's getting a chance tonight, and he ties this game up.
As we mentioned, he hasn't played a whole lot, certainly not in the last 8 games, and kind of in and out of the lineup before that. His last goal was November 10th against Ottawa, and he scores his 4th goal here at 15:51. Here's a pass in front of Verbeek, broken up. Chibarev gets the assist on the goal. Richer ahead to McLean. He's in alone, and Burke deflected it behind the net. Jason Smith of the point, shooting, and it's tipped by McLean over the net off the glass. It lands at the feet of Richer. In for Emma. Circling it out in front, throw it in front of the goal mouth. Burke tipped it away. He gets a glove up in the face of Richer as the play moves back to center. Now McLean re-enters the zone. Lost the puck to Patrick. 2-2 are tied with 3:18 remaining in the second. Castles to Verbeek, shooting, and he hits the side of the net. Castles kicks it loose. Albertine stepped in front of Storm to control it. McLean goes down. Verbeek will go off. Hooking will be the call at 16:57.
Well, this game's picked up a little in the last 3 or 4 minutes from both teams. They're skating much better. Intensity is a little higher, as you can tell by that pass made by Richer to McLean that set McLean loose. But the Whalers will go. Watch this. This is a beautiful pass by Richer. We talk about the skills of Richer. You saw it right there. Well, that Sean Burke, he got himself in a nice position, just backed in a little bit with McLean. Here's the hook as McLean cuts to the middle and is taken down. Boy, when you see a pass like Richer made, I'm really a big you know, big fan of great passing, and he really worked hard to set McLean loose.
Devils in their third power play chance. The Whalers have yet to be awarded an opportunity in this game. Shots in the period are 10-7 New Jersey. And they'll have to start the rush from behind the net. Stevens and Niedermeyer work behind Dowd, Guerin, and Zelepukin. Pass hit Zelepukin, the play's offside, and there we get the whistle, and they'll rule this intentional. Brian Murphy on the emphatic call. They'll bring it all the way back. The other penalty killers, Cunneyworth. Emma comes out with McLean and Lemieux. Cron joins Cunneyworth up front. Pronger's wrist shot is blocked. He gets it back. Wines, lets it go. Saved by Tereri. Cunneyworth bowls his way through the front of the net. Got it on the goal, but it was turned aside, and out comes Emma. He stumbles. Run over by Cunneyworth. Niedermeyer closed out by Cron. Pronger sails it off McLean's glove and into the Devil bench. With 1:25 remaining on the Verbeek penalty, 2:28 to go in the period.
So look at John McLean.
Still looking for that point to become the Devils' all-time leading scorer.
It's at 500.
520, Ian Muller.
He also,
right now,
I think, has got the most important goal in Jersey Devil history, that overtime goal in Chicago Stadium that put him into the playoffs, and he took off from there.
Did they ever? Stevens plays it in behind. Pronger drives it around the boards. Lemieux is there trying to find McLean. Jansen's in position to steal. Stevens out for Niedermeyer. Pronger has a head start on Millen. Drives it hard around the boards. He'll force the Devils back. The others have kept the Devils away from Sean Burke in the Hartford net. At this point on the power play with 50 seconds to go in the penalty. Niedermeyer shoots it in. Burke steps out to handle it. Archman got there ahead of Millen. Storm takes a hit from McLean, who comes up with a puck. They'll ring it around the boards to Stevens. Back into McLean. It dribbled away from him. Lemieux takes it. Zalapsky overtakes him. Niedermeyer on the scene as well. Zalapsky's able to chip into Castles, and he'll clear. 22 seconds to go in the penalty.
Well, this has been a great job by the Whalers in this last penalty. They're just strong on the boards, and that's what's doing it for them.
Twice they've trailed in this game. Twice they've come back to tie. Most recently, Greg's fourth from Chibarev at 15:51, answering the Zelepukin goal 2 minutes and 15 seconds later. And now they kill the penalty. Verbeek is out of the box with an even minute to go in the period. And Pat Verbeek will remain on the ice with Castles and Storm. Perhaps this will give the Whalers a further lift, killing this penalty. Here's Verbeek trying to snap one off. He's held up by Modry. Puck dug free and played to center. Patrick pushes it in deep in the Devil zone. Modry has it. Coming up at the intermission, we'll take a look back at the Whalers holiday skating party at the Civic Center just before Christmas. Puck is cleared off the boards, down the ice. Sean Burke fires it off the boards, ahead for Verbeek. Devils take it with 16 seconds. McLean gets onside, trying to leave it for Dow, just out of his reach. Verbeek will try for a final opportunity. Goes to Storm, chipped away by Smith. 8 seconds to go. Patrick throws it in the Devils zone, but the Whalers are offside, so that's where the period will end. The horn sounds ending the second period, and the Devils, twice taking leads in this game, have seen the Whalers answer. Sean Burke with some big stops in this contest, particularly in the second period. And the Whalers go to the intermission tied at 2. Coming up at the intermission, our look back at the Whalers skating party at the Civic Center. We'll also have an update on the Shawmut Bank NHL scoreboard and our look at highlights from period 2.
Sports Channel.
Welcome back at the Byrne Meadowlands Arena. A 2-2 tie through 40 minutes. Well, during the hustle and bustle of the holidays and in the midst of a busy hockey season, the Whalers family paused recently for an afternoon of on-ice fun at the Civic Center. And the Sports Channel cameras were there. The Hartford Whalers family skate and holiday party gave everybody in the Whalers organization a chance to relax, spend time with their loved ones, and spread some holiday cheer.
Say hi to the camera.
Both experienced and beginner skaters took to the Civic Center ice to shoot some pucks, play with sleds, and have some good old-fashioned wintertime fun.
That's the time of year where, you know, family is a big part of what's going on right now, and you know, the children especially, you know, it's a time of year where they're all excited, and it's kind of nice to know that you got a little bit of a break and enjoy ourselves.
It's fun to skate around with your wife and see all the kids enjoying themselves, and it kind of reminds you of when you were a younger child and you used to be skating out on the rinks like this, and so I think it's just a great time and everyone really enjoys themselves.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, coming out, it almost makes you wish that you had a kid when you come out here, because most everybody has kids, but I was trying to get my wife out on skates, but she's too chicken. She won't go this year.
This family-oriented event allowed the children to find creative ways to entertain each other and give them the opportunity to show off their skating skills with the hopes of receiving a good scouting report. With professional hockey players as husbands, one might think that the Whalers' wives would be good skaters as well. However, this is not always so.
Well, I like it as long as Brian's around, because I fall down if he's not. Of course, I am wearing his hockey skates, but don't tell anyone that. We wear the same shoe size.
Not before, not after, not ever. Yeah, no, I'm not the skater in the family, so hopefully Patrick will, hopefully both boys will take after their dad and do a little bit of skating.
So I played hockey when I was younger. I was a goalie, though, so I didn't really need to skate too much.
At this time of year, the air is filled with season's greetings and holiday wishes. The Whalers have some special intentions they would like to share with you.
Well, we just wish that you know, everybody at this time of year gets time to spend with their families and enjoy the moment, and then just remember what Christmas is all about.
Yeah, I'd like to wish everybody in Connecticut and all over New England the merriest Christmas and the happiest of holidays, and have a safe holiday.
Merry Christmas to everybody out in Western Canada that we know, my family and friends. I know my mom and dad watch on Sports Channel on the dish, so say hi to them.
Yeah, I just say Merry Christmas to all my family in Toronto, and all my friends out west, too.
We at Sports Channel wish you and your families a very happy holiday season.
Nobody Beats the Wiz presents the most extraordinary camcorder you'll ever see, the new Sharp View Cam.
Hey, Phil, where's the viewfinder?
Easy, big fella. Forget the viewfinder. The Sharp View Cam has a color view screen and a lens that rotates. It has a built-in speaker and gives you instant playback of your video.
Hey, Phil, where's the viewfinder? It's not really a camcorder, is it?
The Sharp View Cam at Nobody Beats the Wiz. You'll never look at camcorders the same way again.
It takes a little more to never say never. It takes a little more of what is deep inside.
For 74 years, we've never missed a practice. From high school to the pros, Champion is the choice of America's teams.
It's the most magical time of the year, the holiday season, and your Jeep and Eagle dealers are working some magic of their own with an incredible zero-down holiday sale. Make no down payment and still save up to $1,500 on Jeep Grand Cherokee V8. Get big savings on Eagle Vision. and save over $1,100 on Jeep Cherokee Sport. So hurry in and enjoy that magical feeling only the holiday season can bring. The Zero Down Holiday Sale ends December 31st, so see your dealer today.
Sports Channel, turn us on, and here's what you'll see. Thoroughbred action. Harvey Pack brings you all the thoroughbred horse racing excitement from the tracks all across New York State. Every racing day, you'll get gate-to-wire coverage of the races and the official results from the tracks. Plus, Harvey will keep track of the fastest horses, the best jockeys, and the current racing trends. Horse racing has never been more exciting than on Thoroughbred action. That's what you'll get when you turn on Sports Channel.
Welcome back to our coverage of the Whalers and Devils. A 2-2 tie to this point through 2 periods. Let's go to the Shawmut Bank scoreboard. And we see the Flyers own a 4-3 lead over the Penguins in the second period. Galley, Renberg, and Cummins with the first 3 for Philadelphia. Stevens and Murphy with the first 2 for Pittsburgh. Both coaches have gone to the bullpen in this one. Barrasso started for Pittsburgh. Reggett has replaced him. Soderstrom started for the Flyers. Roussel has replaced him. Tampa leads Quebec 2-1 in the second period. And the Lightning got on the board in the first period on a Dan Cole goal. Darren Pupa and Stefan Bissett, the matchup in net there. Anaheim leads the Islanders 2-0. Jared Scaldi had the opening goal for the Mighty Ducks. Ron Tucknut opposes Ron Hextall in net. And Florida had a 2-0 lead on goals by Lindsay and Lowry. They now lead the Washington Capitals 3-1 in the second period. John Van Beesbrook, of course, in net. He's opposed by Don Beaupre. Later on, Calgary will try to shake the effects of a slump. They've lost 3 straight and won only 2 of their last 9. They visit the Sharks, who are winless in 8, and Vancouver at Los Angeles also later on tonight. Stay with us. We'll have highlights from the second period of this matchup between the Whalers and the Devils in just a moment.
For great live sports action, keep your set tuned to Sports Channel this January. College basketball season is in full swing, and we've got over 20 live matchups featuring teams like UMass, Holy Cross, and Northeastern. There's NBA basketball when the Celtics host 8 games at the Boston Garden. The Hartford Whalers will be busy when they wrap up 7 opponents from the NHL, including Boston and Montreal. Plus, there's live coverage of the U.S. World Cup team. It all comes your way this January on Sports Channel. Sports Channel has the drama and excitement of live college basketball. Watch when we present the top games featuring both national powers and local talents. Kansas runs up against Rhode Island Wednesday at 10:30. Get ready for more National Hockey League excitement when the Hartford Whalers play on Sports Channel. We've got the live action when the Whalers face off against the best teams in the NHL. The Whalers face off against the New York Islanders Saturday at 1:30.
Yogi, Mantle, I would get another pretty face. There's 3 Hall of Famers sitting there with me.
You know, if I'd have shaved my mustache, I could have probably pitched in the big leagues in 1986.
First thing they will look at is your hat. The next thing they look at was your glove.
Well, that's all I can tell you. Part of the reason that I'm not involved in the game of baseball is that I did march to my own tune.
How can you be in the Hall of Fame? Some little old red-headed kid from that little old town. It was quite a thrill for me.
Catch baseball's heroes on Halls of Fame.
Today's Boys and Girls Club is a lot more than just a gym.
Sort of like a second home to most people. I just come in the learning center and do my homework. It enriches many things in your life.
And there's a lot of support. Learn, like, what's right and wrong. Stay out of trouble.
Grow up to be somebody.
Every kid is proof positive the club's work.
The club that gets results needs your help.
Call 1-800-854-CLUB and find out for yourself why the Boys and Girls Clubs of America are the positive place for kids.
We're between the second and third period of tonight's game with a 2-2 tie. Rick Peckham and Jerry Cheevers back with you. And a chance to look at highlights, not only scoring highlights, but Sean Burke highlights from the second period.
Well, the first highlight we're going to see here, Rick, is a goal by the Devils to put them ahead 2-1. It was a good play by Niedermeyer at the right point as he comes up with the puck and moves to the middle of the ice. And you talk about good vision. He spots Zalapukin coming out of the corner and a beautiful pass. And all Zalapukin had to do was turn his stick, and this made it 2-1. And a couple of important saves come up, and this is immediately after that goal. This is on Lemieux right here. Watch the way he plays it. Boy, he really advertised what he was going to do there as he had the stick in front of him. very quickly. Now here's the tire as the play is intercepted, and Mark Gregg, right in the middle of the ice, just drives it, uses a devil as a screen and beats Terreri to tie it up. And at the other end of the ice, once again, it's Sean Burke. This is a great pass by Richer. Unbelievable. Between the legs on the tape of Sean McLean, and he just stopped skating there for a little bit, and he went wide, and Sean Burke was able to stay with them, Rick. So I'll tell you, the Whalers, haven't played bad. They just really, haven't been fired up like you suggested in the second period. But they're in a great position to win a hockey game here with a solid period of hockey.
Let's look at the second period scoring summary. Zetapukin's 16th goal set up on the nice play by the youngster Niedermeyer at 13:36, and then 2 minutes and 15 seconds later, Gregg's fourth, his first since November 10th. Chibarev on the steal from Yaroslav Modry got the assist on the goal, and the Wiz shots and power play numbers. New Jersey with the advantage in shots again, 10-8 in the second, 20-13 through 40 minutes. They had 2 more power plays. The Whalers have yet to get the man advantage in this game. Sean Burke has been very strong on 2 of these shorthanded situations, and the Whaler penalty killers gave a little break as they did an excellent job of holding off the Devils late in the second period, keeping it at 2-2, and that sets the stage for the third period here in the Meadowlands.
From Gillette comes a revolutionary form of antiperspirant protection. Gillette Clear Gel Antiperspirant. Because it's a clear, clean, powerful gel, it goes on smoothly with no white residue to form an invisible barrier of protection. All-day protection against both wetness and odor. Gillette Clear Gel Antiperspirant. One of the advanced deodorants and antiperspirants in the Gillette series.
The first house in America to have electric light was in Salem, Massachusetts. Massachusetts was also where the first solar house was built. And the original American Gothic house was in Fairfield, Connecticut. What's not surprising is that the bank with the resources and commitment to help more people buy their homes is Shawmut Bank. Being #1 mortgage lender in New England is just one reason why New England banks with Shawmut.
Classic television. Hogan's Heroes.
Green Acres.
Arnold Ziff. Who played him? Nobody. He was the pig. Remember Family Affair?
Mr. French. I loved him.
Hey.
He was attractive.
Pete, Link, Julie. Okay, Ginger or Mary Ann?
Ginger was a bimbo.
Mary Ann. Mary Ann or Jeannie?
Beechwood Aged Budweiser.
Jeannie.
Crisp, clean, classic.
Sports Channel. Turn us on, and here's what you'll see. Thoroughbred action. Harvey Pack brings you all the thoroughbred horse racing excitement from the tracks all across New York State. Every racing day, you'll get gate-to-wire coverage of the races and the official results from the tracks. Plus, Harvey will keep track of the fastest horses, the best jockeys, and the current racing trends. Horse racing has never been more exciting than on Thoroughbred action. That's what you'll get when you turn on Sports Channel.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by the authority of the Hartford Whalers in the National Hockey League and is intended solely for the private, non-commercial use of our audience. Any publication, retransmission, or other use of the pictures, descriptions, and accounts of this game without the express written consent of the Hartford Whalers, the NHL, and Sports Channel is prohibited. Announcers in this broadcast are selected by Sports Channel and approved by the Hartford Whalers. Whalers will have Castles between Storm and Verbeek. Patrick and Marchman on defense. Jacques Lemaire has McLean, Emma, and Randy McKay in front of Danico and Stevens. As we're underway here in the third, tied at 2. Whaler goals from Cron and Gregg, answering Devil goals by Carpenter and Zetapukin. Here's Randy McKay winding and firing. The shot was blocked by Patrick. Castles deals it out on the boards to Verbeek. Ahead for Randy Cunneyworth. Marchman is with him. Marchman lifts it over the glass and out of play. We'll see. Apparently it was deflected by Ken Danico. Looks like the faceoff stays inside.
Once again, the Whalers start this third period with a quick change. And what you have to be careful of there is that you don't take your yourself out of some sort of a flow that you might have going attacking, and so the coach has to have to be a little concerned with that. Here's the old pro, Ken Danico.
His consecutive game streak has reached 349 with tonight's game, and that's the longest streak active in the league. Of course, Steve Larmer began the season, or was to begin the season, with perhaps a record-breaking streak, but his holdout took care of that with the Blackhawks, and now, of course, he's a member of the Rangers.
Danico was somewhat iffy tonight, suffering from the flu.
Zetapukin leads it for Guerin. Adam Burt got back to get it to Cunnyworth. Quickly shoveled by Stevens to Dowd. Dowd deals it to Zetapukin. Backhands in front. Couldn't connect with anybody. Mark Patlan throws a shoulder into Guerin. As back comes Cunnyworth. Got to take it away by Stevens. Quickly feeding it. Zetapukin cuts in. He shoots. Burt the save. There's no rebound. Adam Burt sends Zetapukin to the end boards. And Dowd and Potvin involved as well. Brian Murphy trying to hold Burt and Zetapukin apart. And we get the Devil point men coming in there. And looks like Danico is trying to go with Potvin. Mark Janssens and Scott Stevens are glaring at each other.
Well, the tough guys on the Devils in this particular shift, I know Guerin's been in a couple of scuffles, but it's certainly Danico and Stevens who had to come in from the point to protect the Zetapukin and Dowd. Just see what the call here is. Well, one call for sure is that the faceoff will be outside. This is a good pass by Stevens to initiate this, and Zetapukin, like a lot of Europeans, love to shoot off that wrong foot.
And it looks like right off the bat in this period as Stevens and Janssens go to the penalty boxes. Stevens was looking for that quick transition pass to spring Zetapukin behind the defense a couple of times, and they made it work on the second try.
Things like we just saw there, the transition from defense to offense, is things you work on for hours in the course of a week. And you try and execute it properly, and Stevens certainly did, because that was a terrific pass. And once again, we give credit to the coaching staffs when you work hard on those things. Jacques Lemaire knows what it's all about. Here's this rink here is more room for the timekeepers and photographers, and the benches are nice and big here.
Roughing Miners to Stevens and Janssens, our first 4-on-4 session of the evening. The score tied at 2. That pass eludes Nylander, carries the length. Terreri leaves it for Modry. He's pursued by Cron. Carpenter grabs it. Carpenter made this team training camp, just came to camp on a tryout basis. And he had the puck poked away here by Nylander. Niedermeyer lost the puck. Nylander gets to it. Circles in front. Gets it to Cron. They start to circle in that attacking zone. 4-on-4. Patrick shoots, and he drills one wide. Carpenter lost it to Nylander. Niedermeyer dug it away. Patrick down the boards. Nylander grabbed by Modry, pulled down. Patrick throws it to Pronger. Cron hands it away to Carpenter. He'll lift it out. Pronger gets there ahead of Niedermeyer, and Nylander's onside. He winds. He'll shoot. A save by Terreri, and he covers the puck. 56 seconds to go on the penalties to Stevens and Janssens.
Well, that 4-on-4 certainly favored the Whalers, as the Cron and Nylander much faster than Carpenter and Chorsky. They had Pronger up there on defense with James Patrick, and they had 2 dandy scoring chances. Patrick just missing to the right of Terreri, then that shot by Nylander. That's another thing you practice an awful lot nowadays is 4-on-4. It's a good practice. There's a look at James, only because it happens so often, and secondly, it's a good conditioner 4-on-4 if you keep moving.
Adam Burt to Zalapski, trying to get it out in front, kicked away by Albadine and brought ahead by McLean. He's got Emma on the rush with him. It's wristed to the corner. Burt gets there. He's got Emma right on him. McLean picks it up. Devils have used that dump into the right corner very effectively tonight. Burt goes to work on Emma. Castles can't get it out. The drive by Smith hit Burt, caromed in front, and Zanapski controls. Zanapski charges ahead on the 3-on-2. He'll let it go. Saved by Terreri, and the rebound flew past one man. Marchment cranks it wide. McLean sends it around to the boards, and Zanapski's there. 14 seconds left in this penalty situation that, as Jerry mentioned, has favored the Whalers. Each team down a man. Whalers have been able to get their speed going. Pronger steps away from McLean. Sanderson back to Pronger. And Stevens promptly steals the puck coming out of the box. The penalties are over. We're back to full strength. Still tied at 2, just past the 3-minute mark of period 3. Scott Stevens sends it off Zelepukin's stick. Marchment has it. Igor Chibarev, who set up the tying goal in this contest. Guerin steps around him, trying to cut inside on Marchment, could not. Jim Dowd is able to hold up the puck along the boards. Guerin hooks it right in front behind Zelepukin, and Chibarev steps out. Gives the puck to Verbeek. Sandlak in the off wing. Back to Verbeek. Saved by Terreri. The try by Marchment. And a save by Terreri there, as apparently he got to the post in time. Modric goes down, lost the puck. Chibarev chips it in behind. Devils have the play under control now as Zelepukin gains the red line, and he'll shoot it in. Burt and Guerin tangled in the corner. Nylander on the scene. It's dug loose, though, by Zelepukin. He'll dish it back to Modri. Let the shot go. It's knocked down by Kron. Modri again fires. Tipped in front. The try is on goal by Carpenter, and Sean Burke makes the save and gets the whistle. Let's pause for a regional break. You're watching the NHL on Sports Channel.
Get ready for more National Hockey League excitement when the Hartford Whalers play on Sports Channel. We've got the live action when the Whalers face off against the best teams in the NHL. The Whalers take on the expansion Florida Panthers Wednesday at 7:30. The Boston Celtics are back on Sports Channel. Watch as the Green take on the competition live from the Boston Garden. It's the NBA and the Boston Celtics on Sports Channel. New Jersey runs up against the Celtics Sunday at 6:30. Sports Channel has the drama and excitement of live college basketball. Watch when we present the top games featuring both national powers and local talents. California faces Wake Forest Thursday at 7:30.
It's your guarantee to go behind the scenes. Conversation always main event. Don't forget the back table right here on Sports Channel.
There's a break in the action. Ought to be a great time to break with a taste of Bud Light. It's a big hit with fans everywhere because it won't fill you up and never let you down. So make it a Bud Light. John McLean gets ready for this face-off. He is on with Millen and Peluso. Jansen's with Cunnyworth and Potvin on the ice for the Whalers, and Hartford controls the draw. We're tied at 2 with 15:40 to go here in the third period. Jansen's fires it ahead off Cunnyworth. Danico gives chase. Nylander now takes a center ice position between Cunnyworth and Potvin. Millen trying to split up the middle. Now gets through. Cuts into the plays. Whistle down offside by Pat DiPuzzo.
That was a delayed offside. We have a tough time hearing it up here, and I think the players are having a tough time hearing it, as you just saw.
Well, this building is probably the opposite of Chicago Stadium in terms of holding noise.
Yeah, there you see the offside. Very close, but nevertheless, offside.
Noise just kind of disappears here. It's tough to get a good crowd roar here in the Meadowlands. Not a great crowd on hand tonight, but even when it's full, it's
tough to get the wave to go across to the other side. I mean, by the time it reaches the corner, there's nothing.
Stevens gives the puck to Danico. Chorsky's waiting on the boards. He'll chip it in behind to Carpenter. Nylander has the jump on Chorsky. He speeds ahead in the three-man rush, held up by Stevens, who's been rock solid on the Devils' defense. Chorsky hooks it on net. Burke corrals it and keeps it away from Carpenter, and we get a whistle.
Yeah, you're right about Stevens. There's a look at Bobby Carpenter, and he got his 3rd goal tonight. But they say he's played very well this year. Tom Chorsky, he and Carpenter have sort of been a tandem all year. You're right about Scott Stevens, the Devil captain. He has been solid tonight. He's a good hockey player. What'd you say, it's his 12th year in the league? He came out of that draft where it was Gary Nyland, if you remember him, Gordy Kluzak, who's retired, and Brian Bellows was in that draft. They were the top 4, I believe. There's one other fellow I'm missing here, but Stevens really ended up the Bellows the longest.
Came off an outstanding Kitchener junior team. Bill Crozier, good friend, was the coach there.
Crow knew.
That's right. Crow knows is his constant saying. Here's Castle shooting. Storm taken down by Smith as Albadine gets it out to center. Pronger played it away from McKay. Zalapski risks it in. Ferrari tees it up for Albadine. Slips around a Smith pick, lost the puck to Castles, and the Devils have had a problem with giveaways in their own end. McLean's lead, read by Patrick. I don't know how much the back injury is really limiting him, if at all, tonight, but I tell you, there are plays you don't even notice him, but he is just right on top of it.
Oh, he's an old pro, James Patrick. He knows how to play. He makes this defense very steady. Very solid, I should say.
Puck is driven down the ice. Niedermeyer back for it. Icing waved off, and he'll hurry ahead. Niedermeyer, an outstanding skater. And a blaze it around Marchment. Chibarev in good position to steal the centering pass. Gregg, who has the tying goal in this contest, around to Patrick, ahead for Igor Chibarev, the 25-year-old Russian. Slowed up by a couple of Devils. Dowd brings it in. Zalapuk to Guerin, sweeping it on net. A rising shot. Burke controlled it. Now covers for the whistle. Sean is 1-1 in 3 appearances against his old team. His victory was a game we had here on Sports Channel early last season here at the Meadowlands, a 5-4 win.
Here's a try by Billy Guerin. He really didn't get much of that. Here in the next, I don't know if you can call him an ex-BC Eagle. He went to go there and left immediately. No, he played some hockey at BC. I was thinking of Jeremy Roenick, who was on campus and left. But Guerin's a pretty good hockey player. He's a hard-nosed winger. I guess they say he got a fight with Mike Keane. You know, he's a tough little guy for the Canadians. I guess they went toe-to-toe, and the hit count was like 42-38 or something like that.
See, those numbers are almost Ty Domi, Bob Probert type, except it was 80-0 in that one.
Yeah, and it wasn't near as well promoted.
But a lot of punches in both. Here's a centering pass, a save by Burke on Richer, who got the shot away despite being checked by Adam Burt. Richier's dumped by Burt in the corner. The Whalers moving ahead. Cunnyworth to Zalapski. Niedermeyer puts a halt to that. Modric out ahead for Millen. Zalapski. Richer on the prowl in that zone. The pass escapes the zone. Niedermeyer angles it back. Cron couldn't pick it up. Richer does. Steps in, fakes the shot, splits the defense. He is hooked off the puck by Patrick. He got in good enough position to avoid taking a penalty. Here's Sanderson. 3-on-3. Circles back. Now lobs it toward the net. Knocked down by Niedermeyer. His clearing attempt. Patrick knocked it down. Nylander at the side of the goal. Picks out Pronger. Has room to walk in and fire. Kicked out by Terreri. Millen. Checked by Nylander. Nylander leaves it. Sanderson sails it back to Pronger and hopped over his stick. Comes all the way back to Burke. Devils take the opportunity to change up. Pronger drives it in. Cut off by Stevens. They'll send it behind Chorsky. A rare poor pass by Stevens results in an icing called against the Devils. 12:03 to go here in the third.
An international business class ticket, an international business class seat. So what's the difference? Continental's Business First. For the price of business class, you can enjoy the comfort of a sleeper seat and the service of first class. That's the difference.
What's new from Xerox? Xerox Extreme 450 antifreeze and a new 4-year guarantee. We've taken our promise to extremes. For the next 4 years or the next 50,000 miles, we guarantee the temperature never drops below Xerox.
Tuesday night, the Eddie Endelman Football Show here on Sports Channel is going to be hosted by my colleague from Sports Radio WEEA, the one and only Craig Mustard. I'm going to be in Aruba. I'm going to be doing the Lombardo with Connie Chung while you're talking about the Patriots, and I'm going to be shimmying up large coconut trees, racing the natives, and then down again and into the drink. I have to tell you, I am not going to be here, but the Patriots will win.
Catch Eddie Endelman's Tuesday Night Football right after the Whalers, Tuesday on Sports Channel.
We'll see some of the pressure by the Devils. Billy Guerin right here will find Stefan Richer in the front of the net. He'll redirect it, and Burke makes another good save.
Oilers come back with a shot by Marchman on Terreri. Chibarev gets it to Gregg. Out in front, Sandlak trying to get turned around for the shot. Finds the puck instead behind the net. Terreri keeps it moving. Burt takes on Chorsky. Gregg backed up the play. Marchman charges over to the boards. Lemieux chopped the puck by him down the ice. And this will be an icing called against the Devils. Chibarev back. Every Monday night, Sports Channel presents UMass Basketball with John Calipari. Watch as Coach Calipari fills you in on the #1 college basketball team in New England. It's UMass Basketball with John Calipari, Mondays at 7 here on Sports Channel.
Well, we got 11:33 to play as you take a look at Sean Burke, who's been outstanding. And Whalers in a pretty good position, as we said at the start of this period. They're playing a little better defensively. They're skating a little better. It took them some time to get their legs, but they're at least the equal of the Devils in getting chances.
Burt wrists it in deep. Castle's there. Checked by Emma. Stevens pushes it ahead to McLean. Knocked down by Burt and tipped over the bench here. You know how to play with it. We've seen the Whalers in the past few games in a lot of tight contests, Jerry. And against the Ottawa Senators, they have learned how to pull out these tight games. Now they're taking on one of the top teams in the NHL. Second best record in the conference at 44 points. And see how they fare here in the third period.
A little tougher assignment, but I think they're going about it the right way. They're hanging in there, and like I said, they're getting an equal amount of good chances.
Whalers come in at 13, 19, and 3, 29 points. Here's the pass for McLean, and Verbeek was back to pound his old buddy. They've been going at it pretty good tonight. Pennyworth fires it out of the zone. Devils with a record of 20, 12, and 4, 44 points. The start play tonight. Puck is chipped ahead by Marchman to Cunnyworth. Rink wide to Verbeek. He hands it to Burt. In for Castles. Castles slides it to the line. Smith takes it. He's checked by Verbeek. McKay walks in. Kept at an angle by Burt. Centering pass is stolen by Castles. He was right with McLean. That's the type of play you want in a close hockey game. A dangerous guy like McLean, and Castles knew his assignment.
Yeah, Andy Castles works very hard at his defensive game, and he's turned into a great two-way center.
James Patrick hurried by Guerin. Also Dowd on the scene. Braun helps out the Whaler cause. Ahead for Nylander. Zalapski on the rush. Along with Sanderson, the pass to him. Quick shot saved by Terreri. Out in front, Braun had it chopped away by Zelapuk, and ahead for Dowd. The rookie Jim Dowd puts on the brakes. Zalapski right there with him, stride for stride. Niedermeyer has to hang on. The Devils had a couple of players offside, and Niedermeyer's clearing pass ends up with Braun, and he whistles one wide of Terreri. Dowd. His pass knocked down Sanderson. To Cron to Sanderson. Stopped by Chris Terreri. Cron tripped up Dowd. Sets up Nylander. Now trying to get it to Sanderson, and Zelapuk stole it.
Certainly Terreri's most important save of the game. He's a good goal scorer in Sanderson.
Pronger hit Nylander with a dump-in attempt. The Devils decide against pursuing things. They'll go for a line change. Burt carries it in. 9:18 to go in the third. Tied at 2. The pass through the legs of Gregg. Pronger going to get it by Carpenter. Could not. Pronger now lobs it down into the corner. Stevens over 4. Slides it to Claude Lemieux. Carpenter couldn't control. Pronger does. Will force the Devils back. Danico watched by Chibarev. No icing as Burke allows Marchman to play it. Pass on the right wing to Sandlak. He's grabbed by Richer right off the Devil bench. Chibarev in for the puck. Gonna stop it in front. Does. Greg couldn't find it. Stevens did. Patrick wrists it at the side. Deflected through the goal mouth by Chibarev. Lemieux along the boards. Trying to get it out. Chibarev held it in. Greg's involved in a struggle with Jason Smith. Stevens ahead for Emma. Richer takes. He'll take on Patrick, who very neatly relieved him of the puck.
I mean, by old pro, he knows what he's doing. That was done very easily. It's a tough 1-on-1.
Zalapski back and icing the call against New Jersey. Less than 8 minutes to go in the third. Let's pause for a regional break. You're watching the NHL on Sports Channel.
Sports Channel has the drama and excitement of live college basketball. Watch when we present the top games featuring both national powers and local talent. It's the Golden Harvest Classic Championship game Thursday at 9:30. The Boston Celtics are back on Sports Channel. Watch as the Green take on the competition live from the Boston Garden. It's the NBA and the Boston Celtics on Sports Channel. New Jersey runs up against the Celtics Sunday at 6:30. Get ready for more National Hockey League excitement when the Hartford Whalers play on Sports Channel. We've got the live action when the Whalers face off against the best teams in the NHL. The Whalers face off against the New York Islanders Saturday at 1:30.
It's your guarantee to go behind the scenes. Conversation always main event. Don't forget the back table right here on Sports Channel.
I'm going to see Chris Terreri's best save of the game as Sanderson elects to go to the stick side low, and Terreri in good position, but that young defense tandem of Niedermeyer and Modry, they got potential, and they're out there together a lot, and they're a duo you can expose, and the Whalers have done that a couple times tonight.
Someone was caught chiseling on the draw. They'll do it again. Smith. Lead pass for Dowd. It's out of his reach. He'll stride after it. Pronger in there first in the corner. It's moved around. Now as they try to centers on a poke and put it in front, it ends up with Smith. Big wind-up save by Berkey. Scoops it up amid plenty of traffic. Guerin gets the stick up. Down in there. Pronger trying to grab Guerin out of that situation with Andrew Castles.
Guerin likes to stick his nose in there. You know, I can't help to think the way the Islanders are playing, why the Islanders, how the Devils are playing tonight, Rick, that they're trying to spring that guy loose, and that's what they've been doing late in this game. They've been, you know, hopefully from their viewpoint that they'll be playing strong defense and all of a sudden turn over and spring them loose. They've tried it 3 or 4 times in this third period, as they were successful twice in the second period. So the Whalers got to be very careful once the Devils defend them on that quick pass up the middle.
Looking at 20-year-old Jason Smith, first rounder in '92 by the Devils, from Regina in the Western League last year. He was a finalist for the top Canadian Hockey League defenseman award that was given to Chris Pronger. He took home the hardware. Smith also a fine prospect.
There are three young defensemen, the Devils.
Jansen's cleanly wins the draw. Patrick out on the wing to Sandlak. Niedermeyer reaches back for it. Whalers get a change going here as Verbeek on with Castles and Storm. Emma starts it into Richer. Back to Emma. Sharp angle, can't center against Patrick. Gets the job done again with seemingly very little effort. Richer. McLean waiting, shooting, and he didn't get good wood on it. Burke plays it to Storm. Niedermeyer to Richer. Ahead for McLean. Richer couldn't hold the pass. Castle slides it ahead for Storm. And Storm trying to shed the check of McLean. Rolls it into the corner. Modry in after it. He guides the play to center ice along with McLean. 6:43 to go in the third. Tied at 2. Modry shoots a save by Burke. The rebound chipped away by Marchment. Emma came storming through there. He just couldn't pick it up for the Devils. Withers on a change. McLean winds and fires. He scores! Over the shoulder of Burke. John McLean rockets home the lead goal with 6.5 to go in the third period.
Well, that was a bullet shot, but the Devils caught the Whalers in a change and turned it over quickly once again. Boy, what a shot that was. McLean sets the Devil record for points. I guess when you shoot them like that, you're gonna get a lot of them. Let's go back to the goal here. Scott Niedermeyer, who turned it over and made the transition quickly, let the goal scorer do it. He went to the net, and McLean with a bullet up over the stick mitt of Sean Burke. That was some shot, Rick.
McLean from Niedermeyer. McLean 17th and 13-30. And as Jerry mentions, he's now the all-time leading scorer in Devils history. And a pretty impressive way to reach that honor with that blazing shot past the shoulder of Burke. 3-2. The Whalers find themselves down a goal for the third time of the game. Last time they trailed, they had a quick answer. Let's see what develops here with 6 minutes remaining. And Cron speeding out. Sanderson's with him. Cron taking on Danico, circles back. Burke slides it in behind to Sanderson. Nylander, the centerman on this unit. Danico controls. He'll just shovel it out. Devils change up. Nylander to the waiting Sanderson. Bounces it to the corner. Stevens sends it high off the glass. It comes down to Pronger. Taken now by Zelapuk. And it down with a nifty pass. Down cuts in. Shoots a save. Rebound. Burke the stop on Guerin. And it's worked free by Sandlak. He pulls down Guerin. Pronger moves the puck to Nylander. Two big stops by Burke to keep it at a 1-goal deficit. Nylander waits. He shoots. And Terreri got his arm on that. Zelapuk neatly steps around Sandlak.
What a break for the Whalers, and Nylander, who always looks past, was forced to shoot, and Terreri made a big stick save.
Chibarev takes on Alvin. Shoots, save by Terreri. Sandlak picks it up on the backhand. Trying to get it out in front, taken away by Emma. And it's lifted over the glass. 4:45 remaining in the third period. The Whalers trail 3-2.
Well, you're thinking about where to get sneakers. Think about this. We took all the sneakers from just one Bob's store and put a pair on every seat. And filled Fenway Park! With this many brand name sneaks in every Bob's store, you know you're gonna find the ones you want. To get $5 and $10 off Bob's already low prices, head over to everyone's favorite store. Now!
Let's go down to Bob's.
Hi, this is Barbara Franzoso of the Sports Gals, reminding you to tune into Sports Channel this Tuesday for another exciting show. This week, we'll get down and dirty with Fred Smirlis as we talk football with the former Patriots nose guard. Also, keep in mind that we'll have our new point-counterpoint discussion, as well as the coffee class on this week's show. So tune into Sports Gals this Tuesday night at 11, only on Sports Channel.
The Sports Gals, tough sports talk every Tuesday night only on Sports Channel.
Now the Whalers catch a break on this last try as a Devil defenseman went to the ice and sets up a 2-and-1. Knowing Nylander the way they do, they played pass all the way, forcing Nylander to shoot, and Terreri got either the stick or the blocker on it. But the Whalers really have come back since the McLean goal with a couple of good chances.
Well, Terreri's 5'7" instead of 5'8". Might have been in. Lavsky checked by Emma. McLean trying to center. Goes against Verbeek. The struggle continues here late into the third period. McKay in for the punt. He runs into Burt. Muscles his way by him. Leaves it for Emma. Verbeek and McLean still tugging away at each other. Puck comes loose. Who's going to get it? Verbeek does. Ahead for Castles. Now to Storm. Storm going to work against Niedermeyer, who held him up effectively. Storm, though, takes over the puck. Centers, it's tipped just wide by Castles. Verbeek was trying to get a piece of that as well. Out comes McKay. Two Whalers go to work on him, and Castles slides the puck to Patrick. Patrick will carry it in, pursues the play, Kron's alone, and Terreri dove out on him. Nylander has it, he shoots, and Terreri got a blocker on that. What a play by Patrick to set it up, and Terreri had the answer.
And an answer on the second attempt, too. He stretched to make a pad save. Whalers are putting on the pressure with 3.5 minutes to go to tie this game up. They're all over the Devils.
Longer to Nylander, looks for room. Bounces one over to Sanderson. He shoots, and he sends it wide, trying to hook up with Kron. Lemieux lifts it out to center. Sanderson knocks it down. Nylander just leads it by Kron, who is stretching out to get to the blue line to get onside again. 3 minutes remaining here in the third. New Jersey leads at a score of 3-2. And a record-breaking goal by John McLean. Sandlak puts it in behind the net. Danico has it. Shots are 30-22 favoring New Jersey tonight. Puck is sent the length. Zelafsky trying to get there ahead of the hustling rookie down, and he does for the touch-up for icing.
Now the Whalers with a couple of good chances to tie this up. As you said, one of them led by the veteran James Patrick. And it was well played by Chris Terreri, who was playing his best goal late in this hockey game. You see, this is a rush, the end of the rush led by Patrick. Robert Kron, let's see what he does here, Terreri. Well, he actually mixes them with the poke check, but many things can happen. The guy will lose the puck, as we just saw. He'll trip or whatever. But Terreri's best save was on the second attempt off the Nylander chance.
Devils win the face-off. Young Smith takes a look up ice. He's paired with Albeline. Sandlak keeps an eye on him. Albeline ahead for Zetapuk and let it go. Guerin is offside. We get the whistle. The linesmen were wise to Zetapuk and not touching that puck. They make the call for the offside pass. Jacques Lemaire won 8 Stanley Cups in 12 years in the league. Not bad.
Yeah, he was a great player, Jacques Lemaire. And he'd shoot him. He was a good guy to get out of the way of when he had the puck. Here's the play. Now watch him. He's going to try and make the poke check. He really doesn't get the puck. Well, he gets it with his hand, really. Nylander had the second shot. I was more impressed with the save on the second shot.
Off the draw. The puck rolls to Albeline. Lines it out, and Burt takes it there. The Whaler forwards trying to get back on side. They do. And Terreri leads the puck for Smith. 2:10 to go here in the third. Whalers down 3-2. Waiting. Now finally sails it up the middle. Burt chops it down and throws it on the net. Covered by Terreri. Whalers haven't played badly in this building. They're 4-5 in their last 9 visits to the Meadowlands.
I think they're 50% for life here. They're 18-18. I'll tell you, Jacques Lemaire, I mean, he's not afraid to have his younger defenseman on. There you saw Jason Smith, sort of poised, made a bad play. He tried to ease it out of there, or finesse it out of there, where he should have drove it when the Whalers were in that alignment. 3 guys across the hash marks, and he fence in. I think you see an awful lot of Scott Stevens and Ken Danico, although they're not on this shift. Niedermeyer and Modry are.
Carpenter wins the face-off. Niedermeyer slides it around the boards. Knocked down by Zelafsky. Modry wrists it out. John Burke tees it up for Patrick. He's turned back by Bobby Carpenter. Zelafsky across for Whaler captain Pat Verbeek. Bounces one to the corner. Niedermeyer gets there, slams it off the boards for Lemieux. Trying to golf it out, could not. Zelafsky holds it in. Lemieux and Verbeek tie up. It's chopped out to Lemieux, and it's kept on the line and in by Verbeek. Finally, Niedermeyer gets it to center. Oilers are plugging away here, looking for that tying goal with 1:13 remaining. And Burke is 10 feet in front of his net. Cron shoots it wide. Nylander now picks it up. Burke heads for the bench. The extra man on is Sanderson. The Devils clear it out. Sanderson will give chase, and they wave off icing. Under a minute to go. Cron tips it to Sanderson. Return pass, not a good one. Zelepukin trying to fire toward the empty net. Sanderson intercepted. Cron. He'll shoot it in. Terreri wrists it back up the boards. It comes down to Cron. Into Nylander. 2 Devils on him. Worked free to Zelepukin. Couldn't get it by Adam Burke. Whalers trying to find the handle on that bouncing puck. Guerin does. Slides it toward the empty net. He scores. Guerin scores with 30.6 seconds remaining. And the Devils lead it 4-2.
Well, the Whalers had some chances in the Devils' zone to get control, and I think instead of trying to fish it out, maybe they should have went for the draw and regroup. But the Devils are the team to come up with the puck, and Billy Guerin, who's had a pretty strong game, finally gets it out. And as I said, you know, on the ice in that particular shift was Dow, Guerin, some young players. They did have Stevens and Danico on.
Guerin 7th from Stevens and Dowd at 19:29. Burke back in net. Cunnyworth fires it out through center. Stevens takes it. 4-2 Devils in the final 15 seconds. The Whalers will see their 4-game winning streak come to an end. This is only their 2nd loss on the road in the last 6 games. They're trying to get back on the winning side of things against Florida tomorrow, as they'll host the Panthers at 7:40 at the Civic Center Coliseum. As the final horn sounds, Sean Burke with an excellent effort once again for the Whalers tonight.
No question about that, Rick. He certainly gave the Whalers a chance to win the game, and the Whalers played their best hockey a little too late. After McLean put the Devils ahead 3-2, the Whalers did come on, but I think they did a lot of good things tonight. If they, there's some positives to take out of this game, but they have to think that in this game it's a 60-minute game, and if they played 60 minutes tonight, they would have won the game. But still, it was a good test for them, and like you said, they have a chance to pick it up quickly tomorrow night. But not a disgrace at all. There are some positive points to tonight's game.
Pierre McGuire disconsolate as he walks off the ice. His Whalers lose tonight 4-2 to the New Jersey Devils, and we'll recap the action for you in just a moment.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to announce the evening
For great live sports action, keep your set tuned to Sports Channel this January. College basketball season is in full swing, and we've got over